Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Bohn N Zano Zone podcast. Sorry for the slight delay in the beginning there. My computer froze, and as we all know, the internet problems strike again.
It really is bad. Is it an internet or is it a computer problem tonight?
I think tonight was a little bit of a computer problem, personally.
Oh, all right. Well, that's a new one.
Yeah, I switched computers. Lucky enough to have Mom sitting right next to me, so we're gonna go off of Mom's computer tonight.
Mom bails you out. That's maybe use that computer moving forward. Who knows?
Maybe.
So how are you today, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I had a pretty eventful day. I actually went to the mall today, which was pretty exciting.
How did that work out for you? Like, everything open?
It wasn't bad. Most of the stores were actually open. One of the pop-up stands that I needed to go to was no longer there anymore, which is unfortunate. But
like the mall cart people you're talking about?
Yeah. And I was able to get some shorts that I needed, some dress shorts, which was a good time. So
all right. But, good stuff. Good stuff.
I'm ready for dinner with the King tonight.
Dinner with the King, breakfast with the champ earlier in the week,
and then we had Mike Albee.
Catching up with Mike Albee and Parker. We caught up with two lefty legends. And tonight is dinner with the King. But before we get the King on...
Hold on. There's one thing I want to add, too.
Oh, okay.
So, for those of you who have been following me on my personal YouTube channel, I've been bowling the junior sweeps down at Morrisville Lanes in Pennsylvania. And I am having a new vlog dropping tonight at 9 o'clock, for those of you who are interested. Sydney actually bowled for the title, so this one's for her. Sydney bowls for the title, dropping at 9 o'clock tonight on my YouTube channel. If you want to go check it out, just my name, Justin Bohn, and that was definitely a good one and a fun one to shoot for sure.
Sydney's becoming quite the player. She really is.
Yeah, she beat all of us yesterday.
I remember when Sydney was like not even into bowling, and now she's a real threat in the bone household now. Yeah, seriously. But so we do have the King tonight.
Yes, we do.
And that was a really good show yesterday too.
Yeah, that was definitely an eventful show, and it was really good to see Pete back as well.
How good did he look, though? He looked really good.
He looked extremely healthy, and he looked like he belonged there for sure.
Yeah, and you could tell, age is getting up a little bit. He's not as low to the line anymore, but he stuck every shot, and my God, he threw it great.
Yeah, he did bowl really, really well.
So let me ask you really quick. What was your favorite part of watching Weber last night? But I have mine. Let's see if it's the same one.
Ooh, there were some good ones. He definitely got into it, which was really good. I don't know, either the throw in the beginning or when he picked it out. Because when he put the throw on in the beginning, he had it on. Kyle threw a shot, didn't notice it. Kyle shot the spare. He still had it on. Pete walked up to him. All right, high five, good frame. And then Kyle finally reacted to it. That was funny.
That was great. You know what my favorite memory was, or favorite part of the show?
What?
When he went 5-1 in the first frame.
Yeah, good start. Welcome back, Pete.
Was off his hand. I'm like, oh my God, he made it. Like, he makes that 97% of the time. And nope, 5-1.
Yeah, good start.
And if you heard him, he goes, when he left it, he goes, and they wanted me to put surface on that ball.
Yeah, I heard that.
Classic Weber. So glad to see him back. All right, so we do have somebody with us today, Justin.
Yes, we do.
We should get his input and see what he has to say about last night's show.
Someone else besides the King. Another Kris.
Yes.
Should I just say the president of Buddy's Pro Shop? Is that all you need to say?
That's all you need to say. The boss.
Buddy'sProShop.com president, Kris Foray. Kris, how are you?
Hi, guys.
In the Super Kris shirt tonight.
Oh, yeah, we got to, every time the guys do something, I got to represent. Of course, it's Prather all the time lately because he's getting these nice invites to all these events. So
he throws it better than any human on the planet. I'm sorry, I'm going to say that. He throws it incredible.
Stu Williams and I were going back and forth last night while the show was going on via text, and I even watched a little bit of their show this morning. I would for one hand, he's probably the best of the one-handers right now.
Yeah.
It's hard to sometimes throw the two-handers in there. You got Belmo, you got Simonson, but what much he has, the things he can do with one hand, to me, you put him up there with Bill O'Neill, Dom Barrett.
EJ.
EJ. EJ's just, to me, I think EJ obviously talk about this in the shop. I mean, I'm never going to put that guy down because he's won a lot, but he just bangs on it,
Yeah.
Where if you watch like Bill and Don Barrett and Prather, they do a lot of different things, they're more like old school throwback guys a little bit,
Yeah, Kris definitely has like every single trick in his bag, and I noticed last night too how good his speed control really was.
Yeah, I thought the first game, and obviously we're waiting for him to come on, but I thought the first game I said to him, I said, you look like me bowling league, a little bit of a spray can. And what's bad is I said a couple of shots were left, they were left like a board.
Right.
Boards down lane, but some shots were a little bit, more offline. But by the time you got that last game, every ball was in the same spot,
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch the first game. We had some bad storms here last night, so my DirecTV went out. I didn't get to see him in the first game. So here's a question for you guys. What did you guys think of the music playing during the whole time?
It was weird.
Right?
I don't even know what it was.
Like in the past, they've had because they've had music playing throughout all of these shows that they've done with no fans. It's been like songs that or even like some throwbacks. Like there's been some older music in there too, but like last night was just like instrumental, like just weird.
I thought I was in a tech club or something, and I don't go to clubs, so that tells you something. I was like, what is this stuff?
I'm surprised Weber didn't lose it with the music playing.
Very true. Very true. Yeah. I mean, I thought at first I thought it was like weird how he was like being very funny. I'm like, all right, this is not going to go well for him. And then you can see him like obviously get a little bit serious. When he finally flipped out, I'm like, all right, there's Pete.
He's back.
He's back. But yeah. Chris, would you say that's the best he's looked in probably 2 years?
Yeah, I went to the shop today and I talked to the guys. I said he looked really good. He looked solid. I thought he played the lanes well, meaning that obviously they're on like 11-to-1 ratio, but he played the shim. He played where other guys were throwing it left to right a little bit more, or we also saw Gigi swinging out to like 4 or 5, bumping it a little bit. His ball was pretty much to the 10 board every time, 15 to 10. He kept on a tight line. I thought there were a couple shots, not against Kris, but the match before that, where a couple of shots his ball 3 got really slow when he flat 10'd. Just, he had a couple there he just got away with, obviously Kyle not striking at all. But that's when I thought you saw a little bit of the age come into play, or maybe rust, where like he aced a couple, then all of a sudden it was like, oh, that looked like it went down lane a lot slower with nothing on it. But in the match against Kris, I mean, he just was he was locked and loaded. I mean, I thought Gigi bowled great. Personally, I thought I was 6 frames in, I was nervous, watching.
Yeah. She definitely gave Kris a run for his money. I mean, it was definitely all her match until she had that mishap in the 9th frame.
What happened? Like I said, my cable went out, so I didn't get to watch that.
Had the lead. She was up 5 going into the 9th, and she missed a 10-pin in the 9th.
Oh. She rang a 10. Really good shot. She was in the pocket. Other than leaving a 2-pin, she was in the pocket the entire time.
Yeah.
Obviously, a 2-pin a little light, but her ball, when they showed the tracker, she was within probably a board every time down lane. Her ball was going through the pins really well. She left that 2-pin and the 10-pin, and that of course Kris does what he's been doing, as Stu said to me. He gets up in the 10th and he's put it away.
Yeah, he's unbelievable though. He really is.
He doesn't ever look nervous. He just looks comfortable all the time. I'm sitting at home and I'm like this nervous the whole time watching.
What did he win for first? They didn't give a prize fund. What did he get for this? Do we know?
We didn't talk about it, but if you watched the last match when they interviewed Pete before he went on, they said something to Pete like he could go home with $10,000. So I don't know.
I heard that.
So I was wondering if we're King, and we could ask Kris this, or I don't know if he'll divulge it. So I don't know if you won a King match, or if you were the King. If you won a King match, if you got $10,000 for that. So maybe I'm wondering if Kris got 10 for each time he won the King match. So he got 20 plus maybe like 5 for winning a match to advance there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard Sean say when he won the King match too about something with the diapers, and like how that one was going to buy some baby diapers or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
And they got an appearance fee. I'm sure that the same thing they got to go to the Strike Derby and all those other events. They got like I don't want to say exactly, but I think about $2,500 they got just for an appearance fee.
That's not bad. So it covers your expenses for the couple of days you're down in Jupiter.
Yeah. I mean, Chris drove down, so and then he's staying with the family right now. So
yeah, he should get a locker in that building. He strikes a lot in that building.
Yeah, it's just I mean, I think Simonson does too, and Kyle Troop, and I thought Kyle. They talked about this on the Stu show today. I thought it was Stu and Barnes. I thought it was interesting him throwing the IQ Emerald.
Yeah, so did I.
It was just a little pinch down the lane too far. I thought he would throw like an Axiom or I thought they might throw the Trend, but the Trends are not half yet. They're not. They have, at least for PBA standards. The PBA hasn't registered them yet. So I thought that ball might go down the lane, but yeah, we obviously Kyle. I mean, when Kyle was bowling Pete, I mean, when he first went on, I go, "This is the guy that's going to beat Kris." I mean, he's just been bowling so well.
Yeah.
How
about your thoughts on Norman? I mean, the ageless magician.
He just does what Norm does. I mean, there's no better action bowler, and I don't think ever than that guy. I mean, he just gets it done. I mean, and then the first show, what was on Monday. I didn't see the show till like that final match when he came on, and it was him and Simonson. I'm like, God, they're brutal. Simonson left the ball, almost missed a head pin. I think Duke's first shot went Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I go, what are they bowling on?
Like, you said it was on 11-1, roughly. They were bowling on.
That's supposed to be 11-1 pattern. So you see, last night they had a little bit of hold after a while down lane.
Yeah.
If you watch, obviously that first night. So I said something to Stu. I go, how were the scores so bad on Monday? Because I only saw that last part of it, and I heard somebody say like they didn't break them down right. I'm sorry, I didn't know you had to break down a house shot.
Yeah, they
So I was a little bit weird about that, but yeah. So I was watching that. Stu goes, well, they didn't break them down very good. But you can see last night by the game that Kris bowled against Pete. When they got him up and in a little bit, the ball was actually bailing down lane. It wasn't really finishing into the pocket very well. So that tells you that obviously it was a house shot a little bit.
It looked like the ball was going in reverse going down the lane when they got it in.
Yeah, it was definitely going uphill.
Yeah, definitely. But
yeah,
it was a good show, though.
Yeah, I thought the whole thing was really good. And back to the scores being low on Monday in the final match, Simonson and EJ, they both started left, and it looked like they were spraying it just a little bit, and it seemed like they made them like really super ugly. And Norm was able to do what Norm does, throw knuckleballs dead up 10-11.
I thought Norm showed what Norm does best. Or when he does best, how he can grind. And when he went to the knuckleball up 12,
you're not beating him.
I'm like, he's going to win. I mean, because the guy is going to pinpoint 8 out of 10. He's going to make every spare, and that's what he did.
Yeah, and I thought the only way that Simonson was going to win that match was if he threw the backup ball.
I agree. I thought getting back to a fresh side of the lane.
And I mean, hell, he came out and make the 2-8-10 to start. I mean, that was the whole series. There's so many things. Kris, you're in the business. Have you ever seen thumb tape come out of a ball like that before?
Only when they were first making thumb molds, and so there was some bad like urethane stuff. But yeah, with him, that was crazy. Like it came out, and then I just found it strange. Now, obviously, I have a thumb mold and an interchangeable thumb, and I put my tape in, and I have a piece of tape already in there, so I know where I want all the tape to go. So I have a backup plan. I found it strange that he didn't really have a backup plan if something would go wrong. Like I have other thumbs made, exact same with the thumb mold with tape already in there. So if this ever happens, okay, I go to this wall. I found it strange this thumb piece. I found it strange that he went to a new thumb, and he was really not prepared in case something ever happened. So it's like, the tape wasn't in the right spot and all that wasn't going on. So I found that to be a little strange.
Yeah, in my opinion, there was no way he was striking in the 11th. After that happened, there was no way he was striking.
I thought he would because I'm like, it's Norm Duke.
Yeah, but it had to be in his head, though.
Yeah.
But I've never seen that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, I honestly thought he, like I said, I thought he'd be good. I just thought when I saw him fiddling a little bit, I'm like, all right, he must have a good thumb to go to. But right when he got to the bottom and fell off, I go, well, I guess that thumb wasn't the right one. I thought he would ask him to chase down the tape in the back, personally.
Yeah, who was it? It was Troop, right? It was Troop that said he would have taken like another 10 minutes to tape up his thumb.
Yeah,
if they would have let him do everything.
If he had to actually redo it, I think it would have taken a lot longer.
Yeah, I just thought he, like I said, when he put the new thumb in, I figured it was all set up like all of his other ones, so I wasn't really concerned with it. Thinking it was already prepared, but after watching a shot, I'm just thinking like obviously he doesn't have the tape set in every ball, so I would have ripped all the tape out and I would have restarted,
Yeah.
And he uses that cork stuff too, still, right? On top of the tape, but then he used the cork.
Cork is a disaster. The problem with cork is when it goes in the first time, if you push on it really hard and you get it just right, it sticks. It's like super. Does anybody use the new Powerhouse tape that they had out? That it's like a thicker white tape. It's really thick, but the glue on it's just like really messy, and it can make a mess of your thumb hole. So in cork's a similar stuff. But once you take cork out one time, you're probably not getting it to stick the second time. And you know how he's always fiddling and moving it around? That's the problem. It's hard to get back into the hole. So I did listen to Stu the other day, and he said, and none of my senior guys in my center do this, but a lot of older guys use the cork, but they'll put like the cork on top of a piece of white tape. So that way they always have that extra, it's not getting into the ball or into the hole and all that. So yeah, it was interesting to actually see like literally fly out in the pin deck.
Yeah, I thought. Okay, Justin, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was real. I was like, what a time for it to literally fall out of the ball. Like, obviously, like Dad does it too, where he like will reuse the same tape over and over. But that's like cool. The fact that it fell out on TV after he threw the first one in the 10th and then needed a second one to win. I was like, what a time for that to happen.
Yeah, because when he threw the first one and not knowing the tape came out, I'm like, man, this he's going to double. It's
absolutely. Yeah.
Nothing follows the guy.
I thought it was the it that he lost, not the tape. I thought it was the it that came out of the ball.
Yeah.
That's what I originally thought it was. And then
it was hard to figure out what came out of the ball when he was coming back over the thumb,
Yeah. That's just a kick in the pants there. But he is Norm Duke, and it is what it is.
But Kyle, the same thing. He made amazing shots. I'm sure, that he just, the ball change there, you had to do it, and he ran the table pretty much,
Yeah. It was a good series they had on this past couple of days in Florida. It really was. Kudos to them.
Between the PBA Tour Finals and the King of the Lanes, I thought, it was, all right, time to go sit down and watch bowling, like the last 3 days, and then especially like after dinner, it was like, all right, time to go watch bowling. It was really neat how it was back-to-back-to-back days at night, and then the 2 days before it was in the middle of the day. Bowling on TV was really cool to see back.
It would be. It is tough. I'm going to be honest with you personally. It's tough to watch without fans.
I can agree.
That's like that. Well, try to watch a baseball game tonight.
I personally don't like to watch bowling unless it's like like obviously like the boys bowling, like Justin or Brandon or somebody I really want to go watch. Mm-hmm. I find it tough to just sit there and watch bowling. Obviously, Prather's on the show, so I'm watching. But without that interaction with the fans, there's definitely something that comes from a live show, and we've all been there.
It's only a matter of time before you see the cardboard cutout of Tom Clark in the front row, like they're doing for the baseball games. It's unbelievable, right? They're going to have the cardboards out there. Yeah. Well, did you guys see the PBA did release a regional schedule for the East? They did.
Yep, a bunch of one-day events.
One-day events, and predominantly all Bolero centers, which is fine. But
I would find it probably hard to get a sponsor from a regular center. What local center? We'll just say here in the Northeast is going to fork us $2,500, I think, to do a regional.
Yeah,
who can afford $2,500 right now? The centers are. We can get into the bowling business, but the centers are in trouble.
Yeah. Another one in Jersey closed the doors yesterday. They released it. Stelton Lanes. Yep, Stelton Lanes.
Yeah, yep. It's a I don't want to be negative on the sport. Unfortunately, our sport, and I know a lot of industries are in trouble. Our sport is probably
bad.
Is probably in the most serious trouble because the real estate price, the taxes you got to pay, or if you're leasing, all that. You got to keep paying. You got to keep paying the taxes, and the taxes here in the Northeast are not very good. You get hammered. It's a bad sign for the sport right now. It's for our centers, and I tell everybody all the time I'm very worried.
Yeah,
it sucks. But again, it's still a business, and they did the right thing. Having the one-day events. I don't think they're allowing spectators in the building for the regionals. I don't think so.
Oh, I think Bolero's doing the right thing doing one-day events. Like I said, the reason why they're doing with Bolero centers because like, you're not going to get Howell has hosted regionals.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
How are you going to go to Howell and say, hey, fork over $2,500 and give us your building for a day or a day?
Yeah.
Hey, that's right. You haven't made any money for 4 months.
Yeah. But do you guys think this is a sign of things to come? I mean, obviously, when this whole pandemic is gone, let's just say first of the year, this is all wiped out, right? Do you think that the bowling schedule, the PBA, is still going to be strictly looking at just hosting their events in Bolero places because of the ownership, and kind of eliminate the little guy, like eliminate the Howell Lanes and the the Wayne Webb's, Columbus Bowls out of the world now, or no?
I don't think so. Sorry, Justin, I should let you speak there, but I personally don't think so. I think they'll still go if somebody wants to fork up the money. I think currently in this situation, I wouldn't have the guts to go say to somebody, hey, you want to host it? Are you going to host an event and ask those people for money? Obviously, Bolero owns the tour right now, so that is their responsibility to figure out how to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
But I think going to ask any center in the country to fork out some money to host a regional is a tough situation. So I think going forward, if business ever gets back on track, I think you'll see centers start ponying it back up. But right now you can't. I feel like you can't go that route.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then the other news, the PBA, Justin, this is all is the PBA Junior National Championship.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. If we get out there and we can go bowl those events, I'm super excited. I mean,
what is it? What is it?
So I'm actually going to pull it up right now just so I can, state my facts the right way.
You don't want to have fake news? That's what you're saying?
What it looks like is they're running like what is basically PBA regionals, and it's going to be the first and second place finisher at each regional is going to get a spot to the national championships. So it's going to be 8 boys and 8 girls, and they're going to bowl for more money. Huh. So
I like they put everything on the same day across the country. So that way kids that have money or have the ability to travel and do all these things can't take advantage of going. We did it at the USA bowling events where we traveled to try and finally win, but to try and make it more fair and say, okay, one event, this is your chance of going. It's not like the old team challenge days. So let's keep going to every stop until we win.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Where you're gradually weeding out the field until you get down to, whatever's going on. But I like that they did that. Brandon told me that last night that they're doing all, everything's in the same weekend and all 4 places.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. And just as a bowler, not just a youth bowler, but like a bowler in general, I mean, this would be a neat event for adult bowlers to bowl too. I mean, I think it's something really unique that is going to give youth bowlers a unique opportunity with all the events that got canceled this summer.
It'll be interesting to see if the event takes off, though.
That is also true. So Friday there is a pro clinic from PBA members, lunch, and a practice session, all including the entry fee, and then the regional tournament is going to be on Saturday. So,
what is it? 7 games, like a regular regional, like a 7-game block?
I'm looking. So, regional format, bowlers will bowl 6 games of qualifying in round 1. At the conclusion of round 1, all bowlers' totals will be pooled, and the field will be cut into 50% in each division. These bowlers will then compete in round 2, which is 2 additional games. In the event of a tie for the final position, a 1-game roll-off. At the conclusion of round 2, the top 20 bowlers in each division will move on to round 3 and bowl 6 games of match play, and then total pinfall will carry over to match play, bonus pins included. At the conclusion of match play, the first and second finishers in each division will advance to the national championship. So it seems like a neat event, and each regional is guaranteed $2,000 on top.
That's really good.
On top of money at the national event too.
When would the national final? That could be a tour stop, obviously, right?
They haven't announced the national finals yet. The PBA. It will be held in conjunction with the PBA. So I'm assuming that it will be wrapped around another PBA event because the winners get spots on a TV show.
Yeah, so probably like
I don't think they bowl on TV, but I think they get like free tickets to go watch like the World Series or
like the Tournament of Champions, something like that. They
right.
get the crowd.
Right.
They get recognition.
Yeah, that's a great idea though.
Yeah, I mean, it's 7,500 to win each division. That's at the national stop. So if I went out there and won the regional stop and then won the national stop, that's almost $10,000 in scholarship money.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
What's the entry fee?
$129.
That's not bad at all.
That's really good.
That's a really good return. That's a really good return.
I mean, I'm excited for that. I'm hoping that we can get out to that and bowl one of them.
The regional players would love that prize fund in return.
Yeah.
I used to bowl regionals. They were like that.
Yeah.
Well, not to that extent. I did bowl one in Indianapolis one time. They used to have a bunch of them at Woodland Bowl. And,
Woodland, Justin.
They used to be at Woodland, and there used to be 7,500 on top, and it would cost you at that time as a member. They cost you like $150 to bowl.
Oh my God.
Same thing.
But everybody came to bowl. Everybody came to bowl back then. I mean, like everybody just came because it was like a super regional, you know.
Yeah. So like the 4 stops. There's one in Georgia, Wisconsin, Texas, and Arizona right now. Those are the 4 stops. And
can we say that 3 of those states are in trouble?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they in all Boleros, Justin, or no?
Yeah. Bolero, Marietta, Bolero. God, I'm going to pronounce the one in Wisconsin wrong. I'm not even going to try. Bolero.
Eau Claire, EAU?
That's the W.
Oh.
Wash.
We need Jeff Riggles to pronounce that one for us.
Bolero, Euless, I think.
Yeah,
Euless, Texas.
And then Bolero,
Dallas. You guys bowled it. You might have bowled the Euless one.
I think that was the same one we bowled at for the Chris Paul.
It's outside Dallas. Yep.
Yeah, and then Phoenix, Wauwatosa, and Marietta. So, I mean, it seems like the PBA's got something really good cooking up with this junior national championship.
They got a lot of good things on their plate. They really do.
Yeah, and I mean the things that they've been doing, that they've announced during this whole time, even though the events aren't being able to be ran, I think it's still really good that they are getting bowling on TV, and then even on top of it, the PBA League stuff too. I think that's really good, really, really good.
Yeah, they just need to get some live action, and I would say real tournaments back into play a little bit. And I would say real meaning like, and obviously you have to wait to see what's going on in the world, but they had, it's cool throwing these little format ones together, but back to real like qualifying rounds and things like that, or even hopefully at some point they finish off the World Series of bowling.
They can't do that until they lift the international thing, right?
Yeah.
They have to lift the international travel ban before they can finish the World.
Yeah, that's the same. But it'd be nice at some point when we see. Back to regular bowling, of some sort. I mean, they've ran a senior regional this past weekend happened, I think, and
it was in Florida because there was Doherty won it, and then there was they were doing it together, right?
Oh, they do a dual one. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but then Walter had the live feed up for himself, and then Doherty won the regular regional.
Okay.
And then Walter, I don't know who won the senior part, but yes, you're right.
Yeah, the senior was Greg Thomas, I think.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
he's from the Carolinas, but he's originally from Wisconsin, and he got a couple Eagles.
And they had that other event. It's not a PBA event, but it sure seemed like the one in Ohio this weekend. I guess that was that Columbus thing. That was kind of like I thought it was like a branch of the Proprietors Cup. That's what it seemed like.
It was probably a takeoff of that a little bit. Where Darren Tang won.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was a lot of stuff going on there. Between team, singles, doubles. They had a team event the first night, doubles the first night, team the second night.
Singles.
Singles thing.
Singles on Saturday, and then the finals on Sunday. Just a little scary watching people not really follow protocols. That was the. I don't understand how people don't understand what's going on in the world.
Yeah,
nobody cares, unfortunately. But that's a good event, and I think
Greg Tack had 100 some entries of his. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I think he had 81 over the 3 squad.
He had 81 bowlers, but he said he ended up with 100 some.
Okay.
100 some. 100 some entries. I think he said when he sent me a text, he had about 110 entries total. but I think he had like 81 overall bowlers. Between live people.
Right.
Unique bowlers, we like to say.
Yeah,
I was there watching Team Bohn Bowl finals on Sunday.
I think they did pretty good.
They did very good, and they were. I never bowled one of Greg's events. I personally don't like bowling on things that are like 0.5 to 1 myself.
I do when I'm bowling, but I bowled 2 league sessions and that's it in the last like month and a half. So I told Greg, I said, I'm not bowling good enough to come bowl your event. Me, I don't practice like even this week. I know there's one at Carolier. We'll give a little plug there for Greg. There's one at Carolier. Mm-hmm. I'm tempted to go bowl.
But
it's just again, I was talking to Cavagnero today. He was at Nutmeg, and when you bowl at the level and trust me, we're not at the level of like Prather or Parker, of other people. But when you bowl at the level we bowl at, I don't just go to show up to bowl a tournament. Mm-hmm. I guess is the thing. I'm not just there. Okay, hey, let me go support this guy. I want to bowl and feel like I have a chance. And without practice, I throw some good, and I throw a lot of not good ones. Luckily, the spare game's been okay in league, but in sport league, but the strike ball game has been very inconsistent.
Now, I bowled twice, like you have, and the biggest thing for me, and I did this to you, Justin, was I feel like I have no legs. Like my legs aren't underneath me. My ball speed is just so slow. It is unbelievable, and it's just like, all right, dude, go back to retirement. Just stay retired and just stop.
Yeah, not come back.
Yeah, my legs don't feel bad. I do feel like my timing / balance is just a little bit off. Meaning, I find whenever you don't bowl for a while, you pull the ball from the top of your swing down. It's hard to really have that. Not try to go after it, because your just human instinct is to try and get it every shot. On any sport you do. So if you play tennis ever and you just pick up a racket and go play, well, you're probably going to try and whale the ball. So in bowling, when you don't bowl a lot, you get to the top of your swing and you're just you don't have that little delay in your swing and let the ball fall down. You just grab it that little bit and it just makes it inconsistent. And
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's I can feel it. And I'm like, man, it gets frustrating because what's the matter, but you don't have time. I just don't practice. So.
And Justin, he bowled great. Him and Brandon both phenomenal. And the people were saying around the Bowling Center on Sunday that for one of Greg Tack's events, that was the most playable pattern they've ever seen in one of his tournaments.
I've heard that, and he's going to run. Supposedly this weekend, this coming weekend is also a number 1 pattern.
Yeah, it is. It's like 2 to 1 to 2.5 to 1 and 42 to 44 feet, and then and then 16 to 21 mils is all we know.
And he had a lot of good players there on Sunday.
16 to 21 mils.
What?
You say 16 to 21 mils?
Yeah.
Well, you can bring your purple hammer again then.
Don't worry, I was planning on it.
He had a lot of good players there on Sunday. That squad on Sunday was there was a lot of heavy hitters in that squad.
Yeah, Pepe said he went to bowl, which I didn't know that until I saw him on Monday. Mm-hmm. Which I was happy to see that because he backed out of Ohio, which I thought was a good move. We talked about that. So he went. I said bowl something local. You got a local guy running a tournament. What's going on around here.
Yeah, Pepe bowled the squad. Sammy Ventura was in the squad.
Yep.
Yeah.
John Conroy.
O'Grady bowled. Yeah.
Justin Melito. Was his name first name Justin?
Jeremy.
Melito.
Jeremy. Yeah. Yep. Jeremy Melito.
Jeez.
Yeah, you had a lot of heavy hitters in that squad on Sunday.
Yeah, there were some good players at that event.
And they were not easy.
No, they were not.
The funny thing is when they are hard is probably when everybody should bowl, because if you can at least make spares, you have a chance. When they're easy and you're not bowling, one or two misses take you out.
It's just hard when you haven't bowled in 4 months and then you got to go bowl on 2 to 1. It's like not the perfect answer.
You should be able to hit your target. But yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, he hit the lane every shot. So how about another local one, and this got postponed to September, the Ryder Cup of bowling.
Oh, the bowlage.
Yes, the Ryder Cup of bowling. Chris, I actually had an idea here. I know this is crazy, and Justin, I told this to you when we were talking the one day.
You always have crazy ideas, Mike.
But you know what? A lot of the ideas make sense, though, don't they?
How things get done.
Yes.
Yeah,
so they're doing the team from New York, the team from New Jersey. Yeah. Well, why doesn't Chris Forey put a team from New England and say, you know what, I want the winner?
It's actually been discussed a little bit. Not to that extent, but of trying to do maybe like, I wouldn't say actually even do Connecticut, Massachusetts, like in Rhode Island, like take those 3 main states and have each have their own team, to an extent. Maybe us do our own thing and then figure out what we do from there. But we haven't even really started bowling back here. That's our big. I mean, obviously New York hasn't either. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Packy had talked to me about that. By the way, about 5 more minutes. So Packy actually, when Bolage put a thing up there that they were going to do this, Packy sent me a thing saying, hey, before the NEBA season kicks off, maybe this would be a way to get people back into NEBA a little bit, is to do a state-to-state match, within New England to try and build some interest, But I know a lot of the guys within NEBA aren't even, Aguiar, Webb. We'll just go with our top guys. Van Hees, nobody's really bowling, I mean, Van Hees and them just reopened their shops a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago now. I would say a week to week and a half ago they opened back up in that area. It's tough to get motivated to bowl. I mean, Dzikowicz is practicing. Matt that works at the shop, he's been practicing in the morning. But it's more, when I say Matt, and I hope he doesn't get mad at me by saying this, he's throwing balls down the lane. So he's he gets out there, he's throwing shots, but he's not working on stuff like he was before the pandemic. Like he has for 7. So if anybody ever saw Matt practice, he has a practice sheet. He has to do certain things on the sheet. He's just out there throwing shots right now. It's like, hey, Chris, what am I doing wrong? He doesn't even ask. It's just I'm throwing balls just to stay loose, to an extent. But it would be interesting. Like I said, obviously you have the same thing happening in New York, where all these guys that are supposed to be in this match aren't even throwing. I mean, Jeremy Melito's bowling a little bit, but Cavagnaro has come to Nutmeg twice. I think this is the 3rd time he's been to Nutmeg. Ian Lang signed up for Summer League at Nutmeg. But again, these guys can't bowl, so it's and even like I said, for us who have been open for 3-4 weeks, it's honestly hard to be motivated to go. I mean, I don't. If anybody knows me, the last like 5-6 years, maybe even 10 years, I practice a lot. I really no desire to practice. We have no tournaments. Obviously Greg's running tournaments now, which gives me a little bit of reason to want to go bowl. But for us, NEBA is what made us all want to bowl and practice, because obviously that's like a regional for us every other weekend. But without having that, it's like really hard to get motivated. Obviously the kids are. If Justin's like, I got a couple things in Mooresville, and you got, even that would be tough for me to get up for to go practice for, So that's the hard thing. So I mean, hopefully, if everything gets back on track, it'd be cool if we put our own thing together and we could all do like a state-to-state thing here in the Northeast, because we do get guys from Jersey and New York come bowl NEBAs anyway, so it'd be pretty cool to just have like a whole little tournament type feel, team thing. But right now, if I brought it up to those guys, they'd be like, "Yeah, whatever."
You're out of your mind, right?
Yeah, they'd just be like, "Well, we don't go." I mean, like, I guess.
What's the stance on NEBA? I mean, are you coming back in the fall, or is it postponed? And
currently, the next coming event would have been Keene in Keene, New Hampshire, Vermont. Keene, Vermont. No, sorry, New Hampshire. Anyway, Keene.
Okay.
Up north.
Yeah.
I think I would know. I won there last year, so. But Keene, and Keene was a great event. We ran a doubles event on Saturday, and then we run a singles event on Sunday, and it was a small center, limited field. But I know we're postponing that event. The next event after that was supposed to be Nutmeg for the Masters event, which is a huge event for us with a lot of extra added money. I think we have about $4,000 extra added money in that particular event. But that event will probably be, from what I know, we're going to postpone all of our sponsored events will be postponed for this season. So that way we're not asking sponsors to pony back up money for next year. I think, now I haven't been into meetings. I'm part of what they call the executive board as like an advisor. So I let those guys do what they need to do and then fill in, help them if they have questions for me or what they advise from me. But I know from NEBA's standpoint, we don't want to see what happened in Ohio. We don't want to have – I understand Greg ran a pretty good event talking to Brandon and talking to Jesse, who works for me, that went down the bowl. But at NEBA, so I didn't know you guys had bowled all your games on one pair of lanes. NEBA's not about that. We don't want to bowl everybody bowl in one pair of lanes. We want to move. So moving becomes a social distancing issue to do it the right way. So we do have protocols in place that we've worked on. It just comes down to try and make sure we do it the right way. And we always feel NEBA's at a higher standard, like a lot of events. So we don't want to just throw something on the floor. So we've spent a lot of time putting rules together, a social distancing tournament, as we called it at NEBA. Putting rules in place. I just think we want to feel comfortable that the same thing is we don't want, and Greg got 100 some entries, and that's great. To NEBA, 100 entries is not very good.
Okay.
So, when we pulled our membership back at the end of June, when obviously they opened up the state of Connecticut for bowling, we sent a poll out to our membership and asked them if they would come bowl. And we actually had 350 replies, which is a lot when we send a survey out. Mm-hmm. We have about 750 members year to year. But usually when we send a survey out, we get about 100, 150 back. But we got 350 back in the first day and a half, which told us that people really wanted to give their replies. And only 30% of those people said they would come bowl.
Wow.
So that told us there's 90 some entries. That's if all those 30 some people showed up.
Right.
That's like 95 to 100, we'll say 105 entries. And we weren't going to do re-entries. We were going to make you pick a squad, and that's the end of it, Mm-hmm. So we had a format all set up. We had all this figured out what we were going to do. Again, it came down to NEBA's not about 100 some, getting just 100 entries. I think the smallest NEBA that I've ever known has been like 135, 140. And usually that's when there's a blizzard or something, And the other thing about NEBA, and you guys, obviously, Mike, you've said you want to come bowl. The biggest thing that makes NEBA unique compared to a lot of tournaments, and most tournaments are about socializing. You go there to see some friends of yours. Mm-hmm. NEBA truly is about the club and about the social aspect. I had a couple of folks from New York say to me, "Oh, how come NEBA is not going on?" And I go, "Because NEBA is more than just bowling. We don't want to just go bowl an event. We want to go hang out with our buddies, sit and talk." I mean, for me personally, every NEBA I bowl with Bill Webb and Alex Aguiar. That's when I get to see those guys. They're on my nationals team. But we get there probably a half hour before bowling. We BS. We go to lunch. We come back and we sit and watch everybody else bowl. But we're together the entire time. Well, you can't do that in a true social. The way NEBA was going to do it, you got there before you bowled. You got scanned at the door. Your temperature check. You would bowl, but 15 minutes after you were done bowling, you'd have to be out of the building. So the next squad, so they could clean up and get the next squad in. Mm-hmm. We don't consider that what NEBA is about,
Yeah.
Like I said, that's the scary thing.
Justin, I didn't know you didn't move pairs when you bowled this weekend, because Chris had mentioned that you didn't move pairs in qualifying?
No, we bowled all 5 games in the same pair, which honestly, for me, Alex, Brandon, and the guy who ended up winning the event, Andrew Dukowski, Alex Horton, by the way, for those of you who don't know, we all bowled in the same pair in qualifying, and Brandon set him up for himself. He went 63 over. Me, Andrew, and Alex all set him up pretty nice. Alex threw a purple hammer, just left to me. I threw some reactive game 1 into game 2, and then went to urethane. And I mean, that was it. The last 2 games, Alex had 500, and I had 470 or 480.
Yeah, if you got a good cross, you know what you're doing. You can set it up really nice.
So I mean,
yeah, exactly. And that's I don't consider that to be a tournament.
No, not really.
The finals part of it, but I feel like there's a part of qualifying is changing pairs.
Oh yeah,
and who you're following, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, so I could draw. I'll just say I don't know anything about it. I could say I bowled at Howell twice, I think, in 2 regionals, and obviously that first 8-lane bay is much different than the rest of the building.
Yeah,
am I right?
Yeah,
the first 8 or 10 lanes or whatever that one section is definitely a lot different than the rest of the set. So if I draw a pair, and every center has bad pairs, and you can still get that crossing 5 games across the house, but you could get stuck on a bad pair for the entire squad.
Oh.
So I mean, is that really fair? And now you're bowling with those particular people, and I guess you guys, I'm assuming you got to request who you wanted to bowl with.
I think it was just he asked us, right. He said, "You guys all want to bowl together?" And we said, "Yeah." And then it just so happened to be that Andrew bowled with us too.
And Andrew's a good player. He knows how to break him down too. Very good player.
Yeah.
But the fact you got to bowl with Alex, your friend, So if I showed up at one of Greg's events and none of my guys came with me, like I said, usually I bowl NEBA with Webb and Aguiar, and there's a bunch of us that all bowl together. Nicole Trudell. We have like a little group that every time we sign up, we put our names in to bowl in the same pair or same groupings in an area. Now if I go to Greg's tournament and I might get stuck with guys that have no clue what like the shot was out by the gutter and they're trying to play
the fifth arrow.
Or they're throwing, or they're throwing plastic down the gutter or something like that. It's like.
And for your brother, he's a Lone Ranger out by the gutter himself. He's out by himself. Yeah. So and I told him when I walked in there on Sunday, just watching Melito play out there, I said, Brandon, you should run them over, regardless of who's in the finals, because that shot. Oh no, I'm serious, Justin. Yeah. The way that pattern played, he could just take the lane out of play and throw the high hard one up the left.
And he's gotten a lot better at it. He's actually here at the house with me right now.
Oh,
he's good. He actually loves hanging out in the shop. He loves helping. But I will say, obviously he's 15 now, but 2-3 years ago, if he stood 10, he ended up sliding 20, 25. He couldn't play up the gutter.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give him kudos. He was even practicing today playing up the gutter, with a plastic ball, just to work on keeping his, getting his footwork straight. And
I'm surprised.
No, but he's come a long way. He has. I know he won junior gold at age 12 and all that stuff, and everybody could. But obviously, everybody has flaws in their game. But I remember when I used to fight with him, like throw balls up the gutter, and he'd be like, "I'm playing the gutter." I'm like, "You're throwing it 10-5. That's not playing the gutter." But he's playing a lot straight. He can get his angle straighter, which is good.
I said to your father on Sunday, Justin, I think it was one point he needed a double or needed the first hit to, I think it was advance or whatever it was, and he dead put 10 back. And I said to your father, I said, he is not afraid to throw when he needs it in the 10th.
He is.
No.
My God.
When he bowled the USA bowling with us, and Justin could say this, and at that time he was 14 when he bowled on the team with us.
14,
no, 13.
Yeah.
13.
Yeah.
He was just off the U12 team, and I told people I put him anchor because he has no fear.
No.
He's like his father, and like their father. He just has. And listen, everybody's different. I get up in the 10th, and I'm like, at some point, if you do it enough times, you hopefully gets through it. But that kid, he gets up there, and I thought every time we bowled the USA stuff, I thought when we needed it, he was going to. And I think only one time he never struck for us. That's that one time there in Rhode Island. But other than that, he would ace them every time for us.
Yeah, he has like ice water through his veins.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of like the guy we had on Tuesday. He was pretty good in the 10th, from what we heard.
Mike Albee, yeah, he was pretty good.
That guy was amazing when I was a kid watching him, and truly, and if real quick you can talk about him. I met him in 1986. I caddied for him at Garden City Bowl.
Okay, he won that event in '86.
He won the year before.
Oh, 85
year before. Peter Hakem won in '86. The last year they won.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. He did make the show in '86 though.
Yeah,
Albee did, but he truly. Not knowing the guy, I knew him as a bowler watching on TV, but going there, he is. I tell you, I talked to Parker about this. He is one of the nicest guys I've ever met. I've met him in '86. Never saw him again until '92 or '93 when I went to a trade show for the shop. I walk by the lens booth and he yells out, "Hey, Kris!" And I'm like, I met the guy for 1 week, 1 week only. Now every night I played, and I was a kid. I was probably '86. I was 13. Now I'm 19, 20, and I got a shop. I'm sure I look a little bit different, But yeah, he was, and he talked to me like it was, I was like, that's really cool,
He was such a nice guy. He reached out to the two of us the next day, thanking us for our time. Like, dude, we should be thanking you. Like, that's not how it works. But he was so nice. And Justin, can I tell Kris what the idea he gave us?
Sure.
So there was a thread going back on one of our Facebook posts. So we have a fan, Kris, Charlie Tapp.
Oh, I know Charlie Tapp.
Charlie Tapp loves us, right, Justin? He is.
Yeah, he does.
He loves us. So they're going back and forth and saying how good the show was on Tuesday and how Charlie has stories about Mike and Mike has stories about Charlie. So here I am. So I said, well, I have a forum if you guys ever want to come on and just tell your stories. So we are in the works of working on as Charlie Tapp called it, an 80s reunion. And it's going to be Mike Albee's agreed to come back on. Mike Albee, Charlie Tapp, Mike Albee, Charlie Tapp, Lenny Nicholson, and Larry Lichstein.
Well, Larry, you might as well just let Larry just talk.
Well, we don't know too much about the 80s, but we figure with those guys, the stories that come out of their mouths for an hour or so.
Larry is the best storyteller I've ever met.
I said to Mike, I was like,
you won't even have to run the show. You could actually go there and perform from behind.
I said to Mike, Mike, you got everything you need. You write down the questions, whatever you want, and I'm just gonna sit here and just go, yep, because I know nothing about bowling in the 80s.
Not to that level.
Well, if you want to watch a ball hook at your feet and then go straight in the back part of the lane, sometimes it was. But that's why when people always want to buy a urethane ball, I go, did you never watch bowling in the 80s?
No.
It didn't really ever hook a lot down lane unless they freshly stripped for a show, you know what I mean? But if you bowled league in the 80s, your bowling center got lucky they stripped the lane on a Monday, you know? Ooh. And then they stripped the lane the rest of the week. They just kept oiling the first 20-some feet, you know? So, and then it kept dragging. So I bowled junior league. This is 91, but my last year in junior league, I threw a white dot and I clear view, and I had to play like 1, 2, 3 to get it to hook. Oh. Because they stripped on Mondays for the majors, for the scratch league, and they didn't strip the rest of the week because stripping a lane back then, you had to use a key. Do you know what a key is there, Michael?
Is that like the liner dust or that big thing?
But it's really heavy. Yeah, it's like a liner dust, but it flips.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You had to put like towels on. You had to put so you had to do that. So
yep. Justin wouldn't know what that is.
Nobody wanted to do that because you had to get it underneath the machine. Mm-hmm. You had to get it underneath there. It was like a workout.
Yeah, and then when you're done, you bring it up. You got to flip like the crank on the side and do
the next one. Well, in that case, that was the line dust. You had to crank, but here you had towels attached to it.
Oh, okay.
Towels out, or you had to put new towels down. It was just a lot. It was a lot of work. So your center, I can tell you, like places like Lodi and Parkway, they strip their lane maybe once a year. Oh. And they did this into the 90s. Do you remember bowling at Lodi and Montvale and Parkway in like the 90s there, Mike?
In the late 90s, I was up there, and they were not very pleasant up there.
If you didn't throw urethane, you couldn't score. If you didn't throw a burgundy hammer, every guy that bowled league there in those places in the 90s until until about 2000, if you went and bowled like a World Match Games tournament or something like that there, the house guys would only show up in those centers. And they would throw burgundy hammers, U-dots, and they would play 5. And you would throw resin, and you'd be dead because your resin ball would be jerking. It was like a 50-foot pattern to hook off the gutter instantly, but then the problem is you got it in it, never did anything. But these guys would throw urethane and get to play the early hook and just shim it to the pocket. And they would run you over, but they wouldn't show up at any other center like that had normal patterns, you know, for resin.
Yeah. Well, you know who else runs people over these days, guys, is the gentleman who's sitting in the studio here. Justin,
do you want me to have this one?
Yeah, this one's all you, pal.
All right, so obviously, I don't know if I've got quite the Mike Val introduction written up, but he is the first and only PBA playoffs champion, the 2020 Tournament of Champions winner, and what Rainey called him last night, Chris Moneymaker, because he's won the last 2 events for $100K, and is now the PBA King of the Lanes, King Shark, Kris Prather.
What's going on, guys?
All hail the king.
Chris, welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. So you guys are actually going to see this. Mitch come in. He is bringing me a Hello Kitty cup full of sweet tea, as you know, he's making sure to.
As the servers do,
yeah, exactly. The servants.
You just need Packy there to do the same thing, like Packy, like massage your feet or something.
No, he's the jester. He's the one that makes all the jokes and everything. So we
put the Joker hat on him and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, so welcome.
Yeah,
welcome back. We should say.
So I see you guys have been live for an hour. Am I late?
You were supposed to be here at 7. You missed I said 7.
You know,
you said I'll be home by 6:30.
Yeah.
I can't talk that much. I'm out of things to talk about.
To be totally fair, that does say 7, but we failed to speak on Eastern or Central. So I was like, oh, it's 6 o'clock. I got plenty of time.
Doesn't it reset in Florida?
Yeah, it reset to Central time.
Really?
Why would it reset to Central Time if you're in Florida?
Because I'm in Central Time Zone.
Oh, is really Pensacola Central Time Zone?
Yeah, you have
Really?
to drive. Yeah, you have to drive 3 hours east, 2.5 hours east before you're in Eastern Time Zone.
That explains. So I'm like, where are you?
I know you text me and I was like, we start in like 30 minutes. What's the problem? And I was like, oh, yeah. So I'm like rushing. I'm in the middle of drilling some bowling balls and like trying to get my stuff done for this weekend. And I'm like,
I was going to break your chuck. When you're king, you can do as you want.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm just making you guys wait on me and all that, making everybody here.
They've been waiting patiently. People have been like, when's he coming?
Yeah, like we're the rank and file here, Chris. You know,
the horse and carriage are a little bit slow.
The peasants. Seriously. So I want to start off. So, Chris, how's the house going? How's the fence? Are you done digging that trench there you were talking about the last time?
Still waiting on it to be delivered. It's supposed to be delivered next week. So we'll see. It really depends on how fast the delivery wants to be.
Fence more 90% humidity.
Yeah, exactly. But luckily, I don't have to dig the holes anymore. One of our farmer friends is going to come and use an auger to drill the holes. So we just have to post them and cement them. So easy enough.
Yeah, that makes the job.
Are you going to stand outside with the crown on and just stand there and be like, you did not dig deep enough.
No, that will be Ashley. That will be my wife. She will be bossing us around. It's not straight enough.
This is great. We never had royalty, Justin. We never had a real king with us.
Yeah, this is
You did have Wes Malott.
We did have Wes.
We've had bowling royalty, but now we've got the.
I love the cup.
King.
Dude,
I love the cup.
No shame.
So you know what, Justin? So we asked Shark. We asked people like if we've had U.S. Open champions, right? So we always ask them like if you win the Open, you wear the jacket like around, like go to eat and whatnot. So are you going to wear the crown and like the robe when you go out to like drill a ball or go to like get your sweet tea and your chicken fingers that you like? Like, are you going to wear that stuff around town now?
You know, I'm actually hosting a tournament this weekend in Pensacola, so I've had a few people texting me like, "So you gonna wear the crown and everything like while you're running it?" I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it depends on how much you guys are gonna pay me. I'm just trying to make it to where you guys can make money. Now, if I'm making money, then maybe
he's like Joe Bowler at the Nationals. Like, don't they dress the guy up in the Nationals when they?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great. So you know what else was cool, Justin? Had they moved his seat last night on the show?
Yeah.
So he didn't have the regular chair. They gave him his throne.
Yeah, like that.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Did they do that for the other guys?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No, they only did it for the last match.
They knew.
You had the patch.
Yeah.
They're like, who's that company?
Yeah.
Patch staff.
You gotta wear the stuff around town, like and rock the Hello Kitty cup while you're doing it too,
right? Yeah, I mean it doesn't matter. So it's really funny. So because I'm going to say this because my mom is she can hear me. So someone posted like, you know, it was like a picture of me winning the King of the Lanes or whatever, and somebody was like, I don't like him, or like I don't care for him or whatever, and my mom posted like, it's funny that you judge somebody before you even know him or whatever. And I just commented, Mom, please stop. It's fine.
He does that once in a while with my raffle game. She'll chime in and I go, I'm the boss yet, please.
Yeah. Like, I know she's like,
sometimes.
Yeah, like I know she's like defending me and stuff, but like people are, you know, there's some people that aren't going to like me and then there's some people that are going to love me. Like it goes hand in hand. So
people are just, they have, what do they call those? Keyboard, what do they call those people?
Keyboard tough guys. The trolls are the keyboard tough guys.
A guy last night, I mean, we could make fun of somebody, but a guy last night, he sends it was an email blast out before the show saying, you know, if Chris wins, does whatever, we're going to give cash back to your account. We do this every time Chris is on a show or Packy or any of the guys. We try to, you know, make it a little fun, put a little wager into it, you know, help out. The guy replies, I can't say the word, starts with an F, stupid.
It's your business. You can do whatever you want.
So I reply to that guy, go, thank you very much for your pretty much,
your support,
your kind words.
Not even your kind words. Like we take everybody, into consideration. We take your advice. Thank you. And the guy didn't realize he didn't sign his name, but I could take his email and find it. Said Mr. whatever his name was. Right. I said all this nice stuff to him. The guy replies today, goes, "I was stupid. I didn't read the whole thing. I thought you were telling me he already won."
Oh.
So he apologized, but then I couldn't figure out anything witty to say back to him. So he's like, "You effing idiot."
Yeah, no kidding.
How about you learn to read before you blast me?
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, what you should have done is like, okay, I'll keep the $20. You don't have to take it.
I'm trying to give you free money, people.
Yeah, exactly.
In this time, take what you can get in these times, right?
People just say some crazy things sometimes. It's like, hello, people. I'm willing to give cash away. Anybody's willing to do anything. Like just be supportive of the industry that we're trying to do something. So.
We need the support now. We've talked about that. Everybody needs the support.
Yeah, we all need the support. I think the free game bowling thing was a great concept.
Yeah.
I don't think it's. The only problem is I feel like centers, to make it go on board, they need to make, like our center. They're like, oh, you can make an announcement if you want. Because I'm like, oh, how's this free bowling thing work? So if anybody's watching, go to gobowling.com, sign up for the free bowling. It started today. I believe you can sign up for it.
Yep.
Take advantage of your centers. I think there were 7 on Monday, 2 on Tuesday, and then 1 last night. So 10 free games I guess you could possibly get if that's how it's working. They're gonna send you coupons.
Yeah, I think it might have been 7 total. I think it was 4 the first night, and then 2, and then 1.
I thought they had more. I didn't watch it first. I thght somebody said there were 7 the first night. Okay, but 7.
Yeah, I think it was 7.
Total. Log in, take advantage of the centers. Go. Mostly they want you to come out. They want to get bowling back on track. So,
and we sure need it. That's a fact.
They do.
Oh, here's another one bringing me Krispy Kreme. So I have invoked my King privileges. See?
Yeah, what kind of cream you got?
What do you got?
I don't know what you got. We're gonna probably.
So this has become that dessert with the King, Justin.
Oh, she already had one.
Can I tell you something funny? Yeah. I've never had Krispy Kreme in my life.
Oh my god!
What? Really?
These are warm. These are fresh.
Oh my god!
Wait, no. Yeah. Wait, you've never had a Krispy Kreme?
They opened one in Milford. So Milford's about 10 exits from here. They opened one 15 years ago, and the line was down Route 1, and everybody talked about.
Was the light on?
Yeah,
free. You know, I'm talking about Prather, where they got the free light and you get the free. Yeah, you got to take advantage of that.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm not going to. And people talk about. Everybody knows me. I try not to eat too many sweets. Mm-hmm. I love sweets, but I try to stay away from them. So I've never had it, but I've heard they're really good. I've only had Chick-fil-A one time too. So that's what's good. I was in Alabama. That's what Justin and with in Alabama I had it, and Evan ordered me the wrong food I asked for. I go, that's not what I wanted. It has breading on it.
This is getting interesting. So you've never had
topic.
Never had. Yeah. Well, this is a good topic for another day. Seriously, we know.
Now Chipotle, I only ever had once until 2 weeks ago. Now I've had Chipotle almost every day.
Getting on the Chipotle kick.
They delivered an nutmeg, so.
Look at what you got to do.
Hold on 1 second. Somebody wants to come in and say hello.
Christian.
It's either Christian or Brandon. I can't figure it out.
Be careful. Watch out for the board.
Let's hope it's not Brandon, Justin.
Hi, Christian. What's up, buddy?
Good.
Yeah, you good?
Can I change the name?
We can't do that. It's close. It's close. It's part of your name.
Well, it's just missing.
TIAN, 4 letters.
4 letters.
Yeah, I think it's close.
You want to give him a let's go, and then you can go walk outside real quick?
No.
No, let's go.
No.
You don't let's go. He's not bowling. Right?
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. He gives yesterday's last night's let's go was really good. Both of them. Yeah, Chris. So if anybody wants to know what we're talking about, Christian, he gives Packy and Prather starting last year on the shows. Starting in Maine, I think it started at the end of Maine. He gives them a nice video all the time with a let's go before every qualifying block or anything that's going on. So I'm superstitious, so we make sure and Christian gets a little distracted, but he loves doing it, right, buddy?
Oh yeah.
I know you can't. Yep.
Super hype man.
Super. He does a good job. He gets me pumped up a little bit.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's fun. It's all fun. So
little Pac-Man ghost.
Yeah, he was into Pac-Man for a little bit. So I'll let you guys start.
Super Mario Bros.
All right, I'll let you guys start it. Questions for the King.
All right, so to get things started off, obviously you got the headset on now, but how does it feel to own the crown?
You know, it's crazy because like I was such an overwhelming favorite against Gigi that I was a little like, wow, okay, that's crazy. It was like minus 1,000 to like.
I was going to bet on her just in case.
Right.
Just so I would get the money back in case she beat you.
Right. Like that's. And you know, it was just it was crazy because she literally led the whole match until like the 8th or 9th frame. And whenever we were done and everything like that, I was like, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't throw the ball very well. It's kind of a coin flip on whether I deserve to win or not. I just feel like I had a higher score type of deal. But I was very impressed with, how you held yourself on the lanes because you're, such an, underdog in the situation that you made it a really compelling match. And like realistically, if you make that 10 pin, anything can happen at that point. Like I was just, very impressed with how she composed herself on the lanes and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's really cool to like think about like being king of the lanes, and like it's really hard for me to get like really into these like made for TV events where I'm like super serious because we're supposed to like be kind of lighthearted and funny. I mean, like Pete Weber putting on a freaking afro, which I am dying sitting in that chair.
Did anybody know he was pulling this off, or it was?
I think it was just him. I think that he had sent his wife or girlfriend or to the mall to get him an afro to just do that. Like that is because he wanted to mess with him.
It was hysterical when he was putting it on.
I'm literally sitting there and I'm watching him do it, and Kyle's right there in front of me, and I'm like, just holding my shirt, like trying not to move. And then he throws a shot, and I'm done. I'm laughing. I can't hold it in because it is the funniest thing I've ever seen. And the fact that Kyle didn't see it,
yeah,
even better.
I was like, he didn't. He put it on. Kyle threw the shot, turned around, didn't see it. Shot, made the spare, turned around, and then saw it.
Yeah, but Pete had to even get his attention.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, good shot," or "Nice spare." Yeah, and then he saw it. He was like, "Oh."
I was waiting on Pete to pull out the shark fin on like top of his head or something. Like I was expecting, everything. But that's that's like what these made for TV events are for. So
show personality. Yeah,
show personality a little bit. And when I'm bowling, I have virtually no personality. So I am a stump, and I am all about bowling. So for me, trying to like be this like lighthearted guy that I am off the lanes and just not serious at all is really difficult for me. So I, staying focused in these made for TV events is pretty difficult, but I like just wanted to be able to say that I was king of bowling or king of the lanes for longer than an hour, which is about what it would have been if Pete had beat me. So yeah, I'm trying to still convince my wife that I am actually a king, and that way she will listen to me when I ask her to do something. And she's currently shaking her head no.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, no chance.
I think queens always rule, though.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, queens always rule.
Yeah, yes, dear are the two best words you can ever say.
She is giving me the dirtiest look right now, but it's funny because she's still cute.
I always, I tell people being in the doghouse is the best place because then you don't have to worry. You're safe. You're safe in the doghouse.
Yeah, you can't get in more trouble.
Exactly. No. I had a senior guy tell me that one time. I go, how's things, Mr. Teal? He goes, I'm in the doghouse. He goes, best place to be.
Yeah, the King only worked with Mitch, bringing you the Hello Kitty cup with the iced tea.
Yep.
Sweet tea. Is there iced tea? Sweet tea.
Oh yeah, sweet tea.
Only sweet tea, Justin.
Only sweet tea.
Oh, all right.
So did you lose it when Weber took the pick out I mean, that was another good one.
Oh yes, I think Pete.
He seemed very relaxed.
Oh yeah, and on top of that, he was still bowling good. Like
he looked really good. This was the best I've seen Weber looking like 2 years, probably.
Christian, you're hilarious. Yeah,
I'm trying to stop. He can't do this stuff.
No, he's good. It's adorable. Yeah. But yeah, he was great. I thought he was hilarious. I thought he was great for TV. And obviously people have all their, assumptions about him and, judge him for how he's acted in like tough matches and stuff. But that's just his competitive spirit. And he's still one of the greatest of the sport of all time. So
who caught him off to the side? Was that
Holy?
It wasn't really?
Yeah, she tweeted that was her.
Yeah, because I don't even know what she was laughing at, but
there was something between Randy and Dave, but I don't know if she could hear that because I thought it was one of those guys that laughed because one of them laughed when he was in his shot.
Yeah,
see, Randy's pretty loud, so.
Oh yeah, understatement. But it was. Because in my little interview with Kimberly, I was like, don't make Pete mad. Like, don't do it because then angry Pete just wins everything. So I'm sitting there and then she laughs in his backswing. I'm like, I lost. Like, geez, okay, great. He's not going to miss again. Like, they're already a little soft, so he's just not going to miss. This is great.
We said this before we were waiting for you. I thought the best part of Weber yesterday was his 5-1 to start off the match.
Yeah.
And honestly, I thought that was just going to be it. And the fact that he had the mic on, I'm like, oh my God, here comes. He's going to let fly. He's going 5-1 in the first. But he restrained himself very well.
Yeah.
But he makes that thing like 95% of the time.
Right. And I think it's like incredible, one, because how many times do you see somebody go between the 3 and the 10? Like, never. Especially on TV. Like,
yeah.
So, and then on top of that, to follow it up with like a 5 or 6 bagger before he missed again, like
yeah,
crazy.
So, what did it feel like bowling the guy? I mean, obviously he's a legend. Like any added pressure because of who it is?
Oh, 100%. Intimidating is and I think that's like just his whole persona, just as Pete Weber is intimidation. He's like the Dale Earnhardt of bowling because. He's just in your face, loud, aggressive, and he's gonna when he throws one good, he's gonna let you know about it. The crotch tap. So it's like, I didn't watch him. I was just like, okay, if he strikes, let him do what he's gonna do. Just focus on what you're doing and just make good shots. Because I felt like I was in a pretty good part of the lane to where I had left and right, and. Felt really confident with the ball I had in my hand. So it didn't really matter what he did. I was just trying not to allow him to intimidate me and get in my head. So that way I was a little less convicted in what I was doing.
He might have been in Troop's head too to start with the
100%. 100%. I think that I think they wanted to go back and forth as far as
Troop wanted to give him the business. He did.
Oh yeah. Because in commercial break, he was like, "I need a double here now," and I was like, "All right, well, yeah, let's see it." And then he gets up flat 10. He was like, "I just want to strike. I need one celebration." Like that's literally what he said as he's walking off the approach, looking at me, and I'm like, "Well, we'll throw a different ball."
Exactly.
Yeah, and then he ball changes after the match is done, basically, and strikes and gives him the crotch chop, and I'm like, "That's the celebration you wanted to do." Like you just wanted one strike, so you just give it to him one time.
Can you imagine that they would have gone shot for shot with each other? They would. Or forget that there's 14 people in the building. They wouldn't have cared. They would have been going blow for blow. That would have been phenomenal.
Yep. Right? It would have been great TV. Like I've been a part of a lot of fun, like just fun matches. But that one, I think, just the amount of props that could have been exchanged would have been phenomenal.
So this has to happen again, and you have to obviously defend your crown. But how did Weber get on this? Was it like, did they invite a couple seniors? I don't know, like the criteria. Was it like, did anybody know? Like how Weber and Walter got on?
The PBA has any criteria anymore when they do special things, other than the tour finals.
Yeah, I think it was, the guys that were bowling the tour finals were obviously going to be there. And then as far as
our senior players have been bowling well. Obviously.
Yeah. And then they invited the women to include them and give them an opportunity as well, because they don't have anything to bowl right now. So yeah, I don't know.
It was a great event, and a lot of weird things in those past 3 nights.
Yeah. I love the couple of posts of, this is an example of how to break down a pair and not to break down a pair. I thought those were fun, because that's a lot of things that like people just don't understand, is how to carve them up for yourself and break down a pair properly.
But it's supposed to be a house shot. Why do you have to carve them?
Right, exactly. I will say there was a little bit of hang, but if the ball speed was good, you could. I almost threw it in the gutter 3 times against Rash, and it still struck. So,
yeah, but Bill let one go out the window a couple times, and he comes back and just blows the rack apart. They looked a little soft.
Yeah, I think it was like 10-1.
Jesus.
So,
that is a lot.
Yeah, but for these made-for-TV events, they want a lot of strikes. They want people to, they want Pete Weber to give him the crotch chop and Kyle to pick out his hair and stuff. So, they want that type of stuff because it's exciting. But I will say it's a little bit more difficult to do it when there's no fans.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Chris.
You need to have the T-shirt.
I honestly, whenever I was going,
you'll sell more gear, more merch. I'm sorry, I'm learning more merch.
when I was bowling Kyle for the next spot onto the tour finals for the championship, I was gonna go and put that shirt on, and then if I had beat Simonson, I would have ripped the jersey. I would have just said screw the jersey and just
He would have Hulk Hogan it right at the foul line.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Justin, we have another one. Actually, Mr. Forey had a question. We have a question from Mr. Forey tonight about the shark, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I told him what the grip change. You want to talk about that a little bit? What you were what you were looking for? Not everybody would know this, so I'll set it up for you a little bit. So Chris called me Thursday. All right, Christian has a question real quick.
Yeah, buddy.
You got my taxes.
Yeah. Do you want me to show everybody?
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it says Christian is, and then a poop emoji.
And then it says Chris.
All right. So, all right, you keep playing. But I think
I keep playing.
All right, stop. I think it was like Wednesday. It was like Wednesday or Thursday when you left. You called me about a grip change or what you were looking to do, and I thought it really, from watching you throw balls on the PBA Tour finals, and then particularly on the PBA Tour final where you were able to do what you wanted to do. Finally, so Chris called me and said, I want to do a grip change so I can do the slow wheel, but when I want to pipe it up the lane, I can keep my hand inside the ball longer or behind it longer. And
yeah,
I'll let you go from there.
Yeah, so basically, the fit that I had, whenever I wanted to play up the lane and get it really up the back of it, I couldn't. It felt like I wasn't using my ring finger at all. Like it was just there for directional purposes to make sure that it was going on line. But I still got my hand around it and used it, and it was too much axis rotation for what I wanted to do. So I was like, what can I do to where I can feel like it's on my ring finger longer so I'm using it? Because I literally just wasn't using it. So we made a span change and a small pitch change as well to get it over into that area, the ring finger area, as far as weight of the ball. So I could feel it on that finger as it rolls down my hand. And I honestly, it worked perfectly. Like I can do everything. I can feel exactly what I wanted to feel is happening, and I absolutely loved it. Like I'm literally, when I was drilling balls, I was pitch plugging all my stuff so that way I could change it, because I'm just like, this is exactly what I wanted. I feel like I can finally do everything consistently. And the fact that I got to implement it on TV already is, and have success with it is just confidence already.
So then do you think it was beneficial to have that done for the 5 days of bowling on TV that you did?
Oh yeah, 100%. That's why I went ahead and did. I drilled like 6 or 8 balls.
Okay.
And just I drilled one, went and bowled, and I was like, wow, this feels pretty good. So then when I got home, I drilled the rest of them, and I got very fortunate that the ones that I drilled ended up working on TV.
Yeah, so you talk about the different balls that you drilled, and I know that you threw 2 balls in the first match or the first show that you bowled, and then you threw a completely different ball when you bowled Pete. How crucial was that ball change to go to that third ball that you threw when you bowled against Pete?
Yeah, well, the main thing that I saw was that Kyle was throwing an IQ Tour Emerald, which doesn't have a lot of flare, and he was obviously left of Pete, and he kept leaving those flat 10s. And then as soon as he went to that Axiom, it was shiny, he got the 10 out. So that tells me that I still needed a decently big core, but with just more flare than an IQ Emerald. So I was like, okay, I started with an Axiom in practice, and it didn't look very good. It was too early and too slow. So then I was like, Idle Pearl. Looked okay. It was a little quick, so I hit it with some surface to smooth it out. And then I was just like, this is really the only option I have. Everything else is either asymmetric, which looks terrible in that building, or it was Hustles, which don't flare enough. It's basically a higher RG IQ. So that's kind of where I went as far as the ball selection.
Send Kris another message.
How often do you normally like switch your grip, Shark? I mean, is that something that you do often, or when's the last time you had a grip change? I think I'm going on like a 12-year span where I haven't touched my grip or pitches. So.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah.
I changed my grip last in, I think it's been like 6 or 7 years.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, other than, I mean, like span hasn't really changed at all. The only thing I've changed is like laterals. That's it.
Like slight little adjustments here and there where you really can't feel it.
Like
if you're getting rubbed inside or something.
Yeah, like 2 years ago, I was rubbing really bad on the outside of my middle finger. So I went further. I went towards the pane as far as pitch to relieve it a little bit, and then went the other way on the middle finger. So instead of it being like 3/8 lateral in the ring, I went to a quarter, and then I went to, instead of a quarter in the middle, I went to 3/8. That's the only thing that I've changed in the last 6 years.
Simple enough. That's why he's a king.
This is a little bit more different, though. We went a 16th longer on the ring, right? And then we pitched the middle finger an eighth more away to soften the ring finger in the ball.
Yep. And it feels fantastic. Like,
trust me, I hate giving fit advices over the phone without seeing somebody. So he calls me, and I'm like, and he's trying to tell me what he wanted to do, and I'm like, well, it's probably not the best idea, but I get a little.
And do you do your own stuff, Chris, or you have?
Yeah,
you do.
Yeah, I got a press in my basement back home in Illinois, and then my dad runs a shop here in Pensacola. He's ran it for 25, 30 years or whatever. So, yeah, I drill all my stuff and all that. So
simple enough there, Justin. And then again, well, yeah, I guess he would have people do it for him now because he's a king. King doesn't do his own stuff.
Yeah, I'll call Matt. I call Matt and be like, "Hey, Matt, I need to trip some more 4-pins and make him mad."
We talked about the trip 4 today when I got to the center.
I bet.
So did Stewie. Stewie sent me a text when you tripped the 4. My phone was lighting up. But I want to bring up something that, and I talked to you about this on the phone last night, but some people didn't notice. I think the ball change was a thing in the Idle Pearl, but nobody. I'm a person that watches everybody's hand positions. I've watched Barnes ever since he was came on tour, and you made a hand position change to start with the Idle Pearl.
So did you get my text?
All right, I'm sure you did.
I did, buddy.
And it's 110 points.
It is. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me.
It's a lot of poop.
It is.
Oh. What are you feeding that kid, Chris?
I can get Brussels sprouts tonight.
Oh, that'll do it.
That'll definitely do it.
But what I thought was interesting when you went to the game, to the Idle Pearl, the first thing I noticed, I was like, boy, he went to a bigger ball. That might be a little too much, but I noticed you spread the index, the pinky finger out a little bit more. Something I personally do. I do a lot of, I call finger dancing. A lot of you young kids don't do that stuff, and you need to learn to do it.
I work on it. I promise.
No, it's. I think, and I'm not trying to pick on you, Justin. I think a lot of times younger bowlers don't. I grew up with urethane and plastic. Mike over there obviously grew up with urethane and plastic. I don't know how much stuff you do, but you had to figure out how to make a urethane ball do something.
You play your hand, exactly.
You know the trick. You only had a couple balls. They all did about the same thing, so you had to figure out how to manipulate the ball. So these are things that I try to show. But I'd noticed in the ninth frame, you and I talked about this on the phone last night. When you got up in the ninth, if anybody wasn't paying attention, you should go back and watch. The pinky came in, and I
tucked it.
I was like, oh my god, the ball's gonna hook now.
Yep.
Because it was for about 4 frames.
Yep. And I was just
so nervous. I'm like, please don't big 4.
Yeah, I also like the big move on tour is like, oh, if your ball isn't getting up the hill, like it's a joke basically, but it's true. Move left and hit it harder. So that's what I did, and but it wasn't like a big move because my hitting it harder is still. It's not like EJ where it's like it's obliterated and the whole cover's off the ball. Mine's like you can just tell like I caught it more, but it's still clean. So, but yeah, like he called me and told me he's like, oh, I noticed a little hand change and then the ball got up the hill. But yeah, I was worried about it hooking too much too because it's such a quick ball, quick response to friction.
Yeah, Packy. Next thing I said to Packy goes, well, that was whatever. I go, he changed hand positions. Because Packy's like, oh, he hit it hard. I'm like, no, watch the hand. It's in a different spot now.
Yep, because it was literally this, and I was still like I was around it, but I was
pushing it,
trying to like tumble it and get it to just hook stop kind of, and then tuck the pinky, got around it, cupped it more, and then it was like this, and trying to get it up the hill, and it still really didn't want to until the fill.
Do you watch your opponent when you're on the bench?
I used to not. Actually, yeah, I could use one.
It shouldn't say does Kris. It should say does the King.
Does the King need a refill? I can't wait to see how he's going to get his refill.
Oh, you should have poured it while you held it.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm waiting for somebody to come and like feed him grapes next.
Oh yeah, good luck with that. My wife.
I'll tell you one thing that Packy and I have later that we'll tell you about. That we had a text, the 3 of us last night about the.
Oh yeah.
So you don't watch your opponent then when you're on the bench?
No, I used to not. Now I've gotten to the point where I use it to. Thank you, Mitch. Now I use it to help myself focus.
Okay.
It's kind of like a reverse psychology on myself where I'm like, most people just won't watch because they don't want to know. Mm-hmm. But then if you're just not watching, you can still hear. Like it's not like you go
sound when somebody leaves.
So my follow up was when Weber left the 7, did you say it's over? Like now I got like that was the opening. Like I have to like it's over now.
No, I more so said, here's my chance, and let's just put a. I knew I needed a double to shut him out, mm-hmm. Like a double and keep it on the lane. Yeah. So I was just like, one good shot at a time, and take advantage of the bad break for my opponent. Because as soon as he let that go, I was like, "Ooh, that's a little left," and then but every single shot up until then had held high flush. So
he had a lot of left. He
had a lot of left.
Oh yeah.
I said he was playing the lane like a house bowler. He was playing like a straighter house bowler. He was playing the shim. He wasn't belling into the dry. His ball never got right of the dartboard down lane.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, but I mean also on like a lot of the senior tour events. That's what they do is they play, 12, 13, 14 to 10, 9. And,
shim to win, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So he was throwing a ball that didn't flare a whole lot. So it gave him all that left. And plus, an IQ tour is relatively slow in comparison to other low flare balls. So it's going to just hold that line the entire way. So, I mean, I'm surprised he didn't yank one into like 13 and then just sit there the whole way.
Ride a 3-pin.
Right. So, but yeah, I mean, I just, saw that and I was like instantly like right back into thinking, let's just put one shot on line at a time and see what happens. Cause up to that point, I hadn't really hit high flush in probably 4 or 5 shots. and I mostly didn't want to finally get it up to the 1-3 and it still be a little behind it in wrap 10, because then it's a tie game all over again.
And you don't want to go to a roll off because his look was really good.
Yeah, and that right lane got me all night, where if it was just a little bit too forward, I wrap 10 every single time. Like the one shot that I missed in the tour finals for 79 or whatever it was, I got too forward and it wrapped 10. And then the one shot against Pete where I wrapped 10, it was again too forward. So.
All right, so I have a question for the King now that he's won the crown. What is next on your schedule? I know that the PBA League is supposed to be coming up at the end of September. Is that the next thing you got besides running the event that you're running this weekend down in Pensacola?
Yeah, I don't really have anything. Hang on, everyone's leaving me. Thanks. Yeah, they're all leaving me. So, last one was my
the
sister.
King's court has left the building, has left the palace.
Yeah, apparently they're going to Walmart for something. I don't know.
So they're probably saying "fend for yourself" now, King.
Yeah.
Do you remember how to do anything, or are you too big time?
You're not even a whole day into it. You can still do this stuff.
But yeah, I'm running a tournament this weekend, and then after that is going to be a lot of housework, a lot of fishing, and then some practice, probably late August, mid-August, maybe.
Well, what event? What are you doing this weekend? Like, what is it? You give a plug here. What are you hosting?
Well, it's funny because this is actually the 6th year I've run this tournament. It's a Swiss trios type of event with a Peterson point system. So I call it match play trios because it's positioned around every single game except for the first one, and it's 5 points total per game. First bowler versus first bowler, second bowler versus second bowler, third bowler versus third bowler. 1 point for each single victory, and then 2 points for totals, 5 points max per game. And most points at the end of the 12-game tournament is the winner. And, it's been full every single year that I've run it. I don't even have to advertise it because we have 22 teams, and I have people asking me about it as soon as I make a post like, hey, you guys can sign up and pay a deposit and all that other stuff. So I don't really have to advertise it that much, but obviously we have Mitch coming in, Andrew Anderson, Ronnie Sparks, and Jacob Buttriff for some of the bigger names that you guys would know. They're going to come down and bowl, and Jacob is bowling with Jalen Scott Jones and guy by the name of Cap Peavy. He's a local down here. So Cap went to Weber International, so that's where he met Jalen and all that. So
Chris, is it an adult or a youth? Actually, never mind.
Yeah, it's adult.
All right.
That's a pretty good idea. I never heard of a format like that. I like that.
Yeah, I like the idea. It's
if Prather would accept my friend request on Facebook, I would know where to find this information.
You'll be happy if he goes to Facebook.
Yeah. Oh wait, I think the King is frozen, guys.
I think so.
Oh.
Maybe he's just that miserable that he's like, we're picking on him.
Can we screenshot that picture? Because he does look miserable right now.
he's like, go after yourself.
Yeah, I want to go to Walmart with my court.
All right, I'll text him.
That's a great format, though.
It is a pretty cool idea.
I
think Tom Semez or somebody did a doubles one like that.
Like a bowl match game.
A couple of years ago, Carolier.
He said it's 12 games. He said.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
Let me see if we can get
almost like a league.
Did you sign him out there, or did he sign himself?
No, he left.
That's a pretty cool concept, though.
Yeah, it's almost like a normal league, but just like an actual super competitive one in one day.
And it's all position minus the first game.
Yeah.
Well, the first game would be
it's random.
How my Wi-Fi is out.
The random seating.
The first game is where you just pick a lane and that's who you bowl type thing. Like how you have your league, when you start your night. But Semez did a couple of things like that where you moved every game and you bowled somebody each game.
Where are you? Exclamation point.
Where are you, Christian? Christian's trying to take care of this for us.
Our PR guy.
Yeah.
No, I like that idea.
Yeah, it's fun.
Question point.
There's gonna be a lot of talent in that tournament this weekend. If he's saying Anderson and Butler for there.
Yeah, if anybody doesn't know Jalen Scott Jones, he's a NEBA guy from Rhode Island. He went to Weber, went to Vincennes with Matt. His ball hits. Just go to YouTube and watch some of his matches from NEBA. It hits really hard, really hard. He's got a super rev rate, high ball speed, lefty.
Oh, you said enough.
But his ball hits hard. I actually think I think
one hand or two hander.
One hand, and I think he led the Masters a couple years ago.
Yeah, I think he bowled really, really good at that event one year. Hold on, let me see if I can pull up the clip. Maybe I can find one.
Kris Prather has no internet. That's why he canceled his.
You don't need the help. You don't need the help.
So we're going to be kingless.
Sorry about that.
That's okay, Justin. So Chris, his grip change was like kind of minor than what you did for him.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get him back on using his phone. Christian, I need you to leave it alone for just a little second. Yeah, it was very minor. He wanted to go an eighth longer. He was going to go, Christian. He was going to go an eighth longer in the ring. And if anybody in bowling, a 16th is a lot, you know. So I was like, I want. This is the Spinneroonie.
Yeah, I know this isn't quite going to give you an idea, but I think that you need to watch it.
Yeah, this is actually pretty funny. It's dangerous but funny.
Those kids do not try this at home, basically.
No.
Yeah, he's pretty accurate doing this.
Oh my God, what the hell is that?
3 spinner. Oh, he went between the legs on that one. Okay, he doesn't always go between the legs. He'll do 3 and then just throw it down the lane.
How does he? It's like he's a ghost and he went right through himself.
Yeah. So he wanted to go an eighth longer, and I was like, I don't think that's a great idea. So we just went to 16th. Didn't change the away pitch in the ring finger, but added a away pitch to the middle. So it would. So as I told him, it would deaden that finger out a little bit, you know. So you get onto the ring.
Are you looking forward to? I guess the day is going to be next Saturday. Happy weight hole day. Are you going to be looking forward to be plugging all your weight holes? You're not.
No.
You have to though, Justin.
So
it's funny.
Me personally,
league and people aren't bringing their balls in. Like we get a slow. Christian, you have to go. Sorry.
Oh.
Are you kidding me? I don't know what somebody's saying. That's amazing. Oh, the
Spinneroonie.
Yeah. So for me personally, when I bowl two-handed and one-handed, I use the same balls and don't have an issue with it because I only have a thumb hole. And I can go back and forth legally with the same equipment. With them eliminating the weight holes, now I have to learn how to put my thumb in it or have separate equipment.
I told you can't.
Gotcha.
So for me, I'm not looking forward to it like at all. So obviously, I'm working with Chris. We're gonna try, and I'm gonna try anyway, and put my thumb in it two-handed and see if I can get it right, if I can clear it.
You're just gonna kind of learn how to bowl two-handed the other way now.
With my thumb in it, yeah. I'm gonna see if I can do it for a little bit of time.
Yeah, I'm working on that project.
Okay, thanks. And yeah, if not, I mean, it's gonna have to be the pitches, or it's gonna have to be a separate arsenal. So I think we got the King back in the studio. You want to bring him back in?
Absolutely.
King Shark.
What's up, guys? Sorry about that. My Wi-Fi totally went out, so we actually had to. My mom is on the phone with the company now, so.
Hey,
so yeah. Do you want to pick up right where we left off, or you guys?
Yeah, I was saying
you froze and looked so happy when you froze. It was like,
I probably had this big old.
Did we make a man by the question?
I was like, yeah, you were miserable.
Yeah,
I was saying, Your Highness, that I said this event looks really good. I said if he would ever accept my friend request on Facebook, I would get the information that way. But the king doesn't deal with people like me, Justin. The rank and file he won't deal with.
I said, good luck getting him to do anything on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook is not social media in general. Like
exactly
is hard. Like sharing a buddy's pro shop post to my story is like pulling teeth. So
even if I'm giving money away, if he bowls good, and advertising it.
No, so that event, that actually, we were just talking about it now. I've never heard of an event like that. That sounds really, it's like an extended league night, basically.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it's guaranteed bowling Saturday and Sunday. There's no cut. It's just most points at the end of the tournament wins. And mathematically, if you're in like, with 22 teams, it's a little tougher. But I think it's like 15th or 16th place after the first day, just based on like points. Mathematically, you still have a chance to, at the very minimum, get to second. But obviously you'd have to sweep every game on Sunday.
You bowl 6 and 6, obviously, right?
Yeah, 6 and 6, and the only way that you wouldn't be able to win is if the team that is leading the tournament after Saturday has swept all 6 games. Which is incredibly difficult to do. But yeah, I mean, the people love it. They actually, I got the idea from a tournament in Wichita. So, that the Wichita Swiss Trios has been going on for a little over a decade now. And that's I stole the idea and just implemented the format here, and everybody loves it. I mean, it's a great time, and I always put out a relatively challenging pattern, so that way it's more fair.
Do you cap it? Do you have like an average cap for the trios, or is it just open?
I was going to ask if there's any stipulations.
Yeah.
No, because one team is Mitch Hupe, Andrew Anderson, and Ronnie Sparks.
Hang in there, guys.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't have any kind of stipulations as far as that goes. I mainly because this is literally the first year that the guys are involved, like Mitch and Andrew and Jacob. Like typically, I just have locals, so I didn't have any kind of restrictions or anything like that. So, but they're only bowling together because I asked them to come down and do a little camp with me tomorrow. So we're doing a camp on Friday afternoon at 1 to 4 with a bunch of kids, and gonna coach them a little bit and hang out with them, and then they're gonna bowl, and hopefully they make some money and don't get mad at me because they're too hard. And purple hammers don't work. So.
Pitch purples won't either, no matter what.
Yeah, pitch purples won't. But
I shouldn't say that, but I don't have a.
Well, everyone knows that I'm not the biggest urethane fan, which will bring me to my next. I need to make a comment after I say this, but I'm not the biggest urethane fan, but I am trying to learn, which I don't know how much he got, but I would imagine it would be a hefty amount of flack from the public for using urethane on TV and shooting like 280, which being Sean Rash on the tour finals, the first like qualifying round or whatever. And
urethane when Packy bowled in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty funny that he was throwing urethane on all the time.
Right. So I just thought that was and everyone was already giving him a bunch of crap while we were there, like just us, like the bowlers.
Yeah.
We're giving him crap. Like EJ called me over and he was like, "You see this?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Do you know anybody that has a crutch?" So I'm thinking like an actual crutch, like somebody's injured. And he's like, No, we got to give it to Rash whenever he's done because he's throwing urethane. And I'm like, oh my God, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, insert foot in mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
So why is urethane not a part of the King's arsenal, or you're that big of a fan of urethane?
So I am really good with urethane when I can throw it hard and straight up the lane and just keep it in front of me and use the oil. Which in today's game is virtually never, unless you're on like 38, 39 feet and you can just like push it into the oil. But as soon as I start getting a little bit steep through the front and have to throw it at the friction and get it to like read early, my hand is too soft. I've tried adding grip pressure to get it to pick up, and I think a big part of that was that I was using too much rotation, trying to make it hook down lane. And now with the little bit of grip change, I'm going to, practice with it and see if using my ring finger, like I was talking about earlier, to get it to roll will help it pick up earlier, and that way I can shape it a little bit. So I'm like I said, I'm learning. I'm not going to bash anyone for throwing it, other than maybe Packy, because Purple Hammers is like his whole bag now.
That ball's a good trick.
Yeah. I have never said that it was a non-useful item. I'm just jealous that
you can't use it.
Not that I can't use it, but that I can't make urethane work like that yet.
I've heard that the new pitch blacks are actually different. I haven't drilled one, but they look different out of the box.
Yeah, they definitely are. Mine actually hooks. Like I can actually shape it from like 7 to like 6 at the arrows, so just a little shape. But yeah, I totally agree that the new pitch blacks are definitely trying to cover more boards. Why exactly? I don't know, but they do.
Well, manufacturing, they went from one place to another. We'll just say that.
Yeah. So
different machinery pouring and cutting and doing stuff, and I always say the water in Utah does wonderful things to balls.
Yeah. So, I'm still trying to figure it out, and I'm still going to keep working on it. But the big thing for me is figuring out how to cover boards with the pitch blacks without losing carry, because like I said, if I can throw it hard and straight, it doesn't matter how hard I have to throw it, because I can throw it hard enough. But it's when I have to slow down and do what I really like to do, which is kind of slow hook it, but I can't get the urethane to pick up early enough to still go through the pins. I'm trying to play too much shape with urethane instead of allowing the ball to read early and do what I naturally let it do. But it's just harder for me to feel that and get that right ball motion with urethane.
That grip change should really help, though, like you were just saying. Where you can keep your hand more on the inside, because like you watch Matt does a good job. That works for me with urethane. He can get a pitch black to look like a purple hammer going down the lane, but he's not off the side of the ball. He's underneath it. He makes urethane on he can use almost on every pattern. Same with Mitch. So yeah, when you get axis rotation with urethane, anybody listening, not a good idea.
Yeah, no, I don't advise it, because it doesn't.
You might not know where it's going.
Yeah, one shot's gonna wash out, and then the next one's gonna go runway Brooklyn, and you're just gonna be like, why? And I mean, that's how I look, is just why, because that's every shot. But Matt, because I know you're watching right now, and you're just like, oh my God, Kris Prather.
He's actually bowling Sport League, so.
Oh no, he's still watching.
He might.
He's got his headphones on after every shot. Like, I'm trying to learn. How do I trip fours?
I don't know if he's trying to learn. He'll tell you he knows it all. I'm gonna pick on him.
I just like messing with him.
Yeah, but, we like picking on him.
Yeah. So there you go, Matt. That's one thing that you can do that I cannot, and that is hook urethane and make it strike. And I'm sure that you've tripped at least one 4-pin with it. I have not tripped a 4-pin with a pitch black in I don't know how long.
He started tripping a lot of 4-pins lately. He's changed ball companies. That's all I'll say about that.
All right. Well, there you go. So there it is, Matt. You're tripping 4. Soon you're going to start sending messengers, and you're just not going to know what to do. Like, you're not going to have anything to complain about anymore.
And that's coming from the King there. That is the highest that you can get there.
So many people are going to be like, wow, Kris Prather's a jerk.
Well, you could tell him the national story, like how you tripped 4 pins, and then Matt made a comment, and you came back and tripped another one. You said,
yeah. And then I sent a messenger.
So Matt, that works for me, Bowls National with Prather's group.
Yep.
And last year, Matt's carry wasn't great, but he still shot 2,000 something.
Oh yeah.
He still scores well, but he feels like if he got those low extra hits that everybody else gets, he'd be a chance to win an eagle or a tournament when he goes. So, of course, Kris rolls a couple fours. Who pays tripping some pins? And of course, I hear about this, and I say something to Kris at dinner, and Kris is like, "Oh, I let him have it."
Oh yeah, because he was. I don't remember exactly.
He likes to chirp. He likes to chirp when it's not going his way.
Yeah, and it's funny because we're all split in brackets. Like the only thing we're not splitting is checks. Okay, so like I think I trip a 4-pin, and then immediately after me, because Mitch is following me, Mitch sends a messenger and snipes a 10.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Matt's standing there. I'm standing there next to him, and he's just like, he looks at Packy and he goes, "If I had those hits, I'd be so much better. This is why I'm not on tour."
Exactly.
He's like, "This is why I'm not on tour." And then he gets up and plaques a 10, and I'm like, "That's why you're not on tour." And just his face was so salty, and then he got up there and made a spare, and I was like,
"Oh, he gets mad."
It was great. We were dogging on each other all weekend, but I will say that at the beginning of doubles, Matt and I were just talking about like how we played the lanes and everything like that, because with 6 games and I'm moving pairs, you don't want to just start at 15. So we started at like 4, 5, 6 in practice, and then just kind of broke them down from there. And as we were moving left, like once we got into 10, he was like, there's a lot of oil in the middle part of the lane, so maybe whenever we start moving left, it should be more parallel moves and bring the break point closer to the headpin, so you're not trying to cover so many boards. So, Matt, you did assist in my ability to trip more 4-pins and then beat you. So thank you.
But I can tell you what though, he's been working on stuff because he watches you, and we worked on the index finger staying under longer and all that. But yeah, he's learning. He's just it's funny. Yes, he loves to whine. I don't get mad at me by saying that, but I like to tease him a little bit. But
yeah,
he's very smart. He knows what he sees and what he wants to see, and it's tough though when you feel like you're throwing as good as everybody else or almost, and you're not striking.
She's fine.
It's easy to get a little pissy when you don't get the thing kind of
and Matt's a good dude, and he's a good sport with it. He knows how to deal with getting teased and stuff, so it's not a big deal at all. And he can also dish it out too. So he's not innocent in this. So but he's a good dude, and I thoroughly enjoy bowling with him. So I'm glad that we can at least learn from each other and learn together. So so no ill will towards each other. Yeah, we like to dog on each other.
Nice sipping cup.
Yeah. Yeah.
It shows up better actually on the phone.
Yeah.
It pops better.
I'm at a loss for words.
Cute little present. Yeah.
Justin, we should take a trip to Bowl Prather tournament next year.
Well, he's not going adult anytime soon.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's right. The adult event, I forgot.
He's only 16 or 7. Well,
no, he's
17. You're young.
He's 17 now. Sorry.
I thought you were going to be going to college soon. You still got forever.
I got one more year of high school.
Yeah, that's forever.
Did your voice just crack?
Maybe.
Puberty.
And the way the school years are going, you might not have a school year.
Yeah, exactly. There's not going to be any college bowling.
All right. So, Justin, when you're of age, we should take a trip. We'll get on the waiting list now for 2022. We'll reserve our spot right now to bowl and Prather tournament.
Mike's like 2035. We'll be ready.
Yeah, and I'll need the crutch and the walker for that year.
He's going to be using one of them dinosaur ramps.
Ooh. That's my line, Justin. I normally talk about the dinosaur ramp.
Yeah,
that's coming
your
from
own joke thrown at you.
Yeah, well,
you'll be creating for everybody down the middle.
Yes. So what else is on the schedule besides that stuff? Just hanging out, doing housework, staying safe, obviously.
Yeah, doing housework, fishing, and PBA League, and then. Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, that's a good one.
We're twinsies. And a couple like little small tournaments in like St. Louis and stuff with Brandon Biondo, and I'm also doing the one of the PBA youth events up in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin.
That's how you pronounce it, Justin.
There we go.
Did you not know how to pronounce it?
No, we were talking about it earlier, and I was like, "Oh God, this isn't good."
Please say it. Please tell me how you said it the first time.
Well, you just said it Wauwatosa, so
yeah.
You hope because he had no clue. We didn't even know.
Oh, you didn't even say it.
No,
yet.
I was like, this place in Wisconsin.
Wow, so kind of by a vowel, Wisconsin.
So I'm gonna go and work the event for Storm. So I'll do some coaching and hanging out with some of the kids and stuff. Other than that, not a lot. Just making sure my wife is happy and reminding her that I'm a king, and her telling me I'm not.
And then drinking out.
I'm not going to go any further on that one, guys. I'm gonna just end it right there.
Yeah, she's not here, so I can say whatever I want.
But remember, this is on the internet. She can always find this.
She doesn't. She already tells me to be quiet more often than not. She's not going to want to hear me talk for an hour.
That is true.
Right.
Now, the first hour, though, where I was late by an hour, then, just listening to you guys, she might do that. But, I mean, once I come on, it'll turn off.
She must be really bored if she's listening to us talk for an hour.
I tried to ramble as much as I could for an hour.
Yeah, we talked about everything.
Yeah, and then when
you come on, we talk about Krispy Kreme and how I haven't had that.
And Chris has that Chick-fil-A either, so yeah.
And then,
my internet goes out, and then you guys are talking about weight holes. Yeah.
you heard that, the weight holes.
Yeah, that's when I popped in. Was
happy weight hole day, Chris.
Yeah.
I told you we're getting desperate when we talk about weight holes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sorry, guys. We had to fill time.
That's my fault. It's
all good. I think people enjoyed it, so.
Yeah. Justin?
I think it's time to wrap this one up. We talked about random stuff for an hour and then sat down for dinner with the king.
Dessert with the king. He did bring dessert.
Yeah, a little bit of dessert. So
go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Sorry. I have one question for you guys. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I have one question. So at the end of the show, when Pete was talking about me,
you being better in Belmo?
Yeah, one. Okay. High praise, sure. But, I mean, come on.
Stu's reply to that was pretty funny.
Oh, boy.
Please tell me. If it's...
He goes, was Pete, and it starts with an H.
Yeah. If he would have said top 5 bowler with their thumb in it, okay, I'll believe that.
Well, that's what we have. We have you in the top 3. Me and Stu, we have you in the top 3. We talked about that earlier before you came on.
Yeah. So
no questions asked.
I would 100% believe that, and I think that as well right now. But Belmo,
Stu said it goes Belmo, 2, 3, 4, Simonson at 5. He said it's not even between that. I would disagree. I don't want to debate with him back and forth the text, but I would say Simonson's a lot closer to him. It still obviously comes down to when majors happen. Belmo pulls away from everybody.
Yeah, I think Belmo only tries at majors. I don't think anything else matters to him. He just wants to win 25 majors, retire, so that way nobody can ever beat that record. I mean, he's going to make the show at one major every single year, that being Wayne Webb's. I mean, he is going to be the high seed. He's going to be number 1 seed in that building for as long as he bowls, because the slow hook is just there from the get-go. And then the World Championship. I mean, he's just so dominant. He's made that show every year for how many years now? Yeah. So, I mean,
Justin, really quick before we wrap it up with the king here. Prather, we did a thing maybe 2 or 3 months ago. Justin and I, we said, is Belmo the best athlete of the decade? Not the bowler, just best athlete in general. So we talked about LeBron, Serena Williams, golfers. It was his stats And Chris, you I don't know if you heard that one or not, but his stats in the majors were unbelievable for the decade.
It's something. Like 60 or 70% of the shows.
Yeah.
It was like at least 50.
It's over 80%
this year. He increased it. And had one. He bowled 41 and won 11.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's unbelievable.
It's nuts.
Yep. Like if you put his stats against, like I said, like LeBron or who's the golfer?
Tiger Woods.
But back in the day, but now with
Rory
McIlroy.
Yeah, the guy that won the U.S. Open back-to-back years or whatever now.
Dustin Johnson, those guys. I mean, his numbers match up. His numbers blow these guys out of the water. It's unreal. And unfortunately, he doesn't get the recognition he deserves, which he's a bowler. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just think that people look at it differently because, they think of bowling as a non-athletic sport. They think of it as, just throwing a ball down the lane and you don't have to use any kind of muscle or have any kind of endurance or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Go try it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then, yes, you have to input a lot of force and energy to hit a golf ball 330 yards. Be incredibly gifted to be able to be at that type of level. But you also have to be incredibly gifted and talented to dominate the sport of bowling like Belmo has for the last decade. So I think that it would be an absolute shame to not include him in at least the conversation, to at least, mention his name in that. I think it would be a shame because then everybody would just be classifying as bowling as a non-sport. And, I wholeheartedly believe that bowling is one of the most difficult sports. It might not be the most physically, contact sport like football or, basketball is not supposed to be a contact sport, but, James Harden can fake contact better than anybody. So maybe I need to start faking contact on the approach and just being like, well, EJ came up and punched me. I need to start flailing about or something. Maybe I'll get a couple more hits.
Really quick, if the tour had the 42 game formats like they did when Parker was on the road, I don't think he'd ever lose because as deeper as the formats go, and back then they didn't re-oil for the night blocks. You're not beating him. You're getting into and no disrespect to you, Chris, by any means, but you get him into the fifth or the sixth arrow, he's almost unbeatable from that part of the lane.
Yep. And there's only a select few that can actually give him a run from in there.
Yeah.
I would like to believe that I'm one of them.
Absolutely.
EJ's probably another. Simonson, on top of that, if they did 42 game weeks every single week, especially with the schedule that we have now, you wouldn't have guys bowling. They'd have to take a week off. Especially if the way we did it with the majors, where Belmo, Bill, myself, Simonson, like we made 2, 3, 4 shows in a row. Yeah, 3 in a row, whatever. Like bowling all of those games plus match play and stuff, like 60 games a week or whatever. Like
you're not going to have the guys physically fit to do that.
Right. It's either guys would quit or they would work out so they could continue to bowl. And I would like to think that a majority, especially because it's either there's no guys like really in the middle age group, and by middle age group I mean like 30 to 38 to 40, whatever. There's not a lot of guys in that range. Mm-hmm. It's either over 40 and over, or 30 and under. Like that's a majority of
the tour
right now. And then you have Bill, Belmo, and Sterner, and maybe Sean, a handful of other guys that are in that mid 30s range.
Yeah, O'Neill and Sean are my age. We went to school together, so I'm 37. They're right around my age.
Right.
And there's a bunch of them like that.
Right. And I think what's also really impressive is, Bill and Sean, Sean's lost probably 20 or so pounds in the last year, because he's been trying to once he started having success again, he started cutting weight and getting into a better, more fit shape. And, his success, went, basically returned, and he started being competitive on tour again. And Bill has been doing a lot of the same. Bill works out, all the time. So I would like to think that if we went to longer formats, that people would, one, either have to go to the gym and get more fit to be able to compete in all these games and have their endurance better equipped for these long formats, or they're just going to be like, I'll bowl a week, take a week off, bowl a week, take a week off. And then it's hard to keep up and be sharp.
Mm-hmm.
So
good stuff. Opinions from the King, gentlemen.
Yeah, they don't matter.
I say, is a tour you're going to be able to sit in tour meetings and tell them what to do now?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, good joke. Who's going to listen to me? I mean, yeah.
If you show up with that cup and the crown on, Kirk will definitely take you serious.
I was really hoping I was looking because it was like a birthday party. She has a little cap on. I was hoping that it was like a little crown or a tiara, because then we'd really be matching.
Justin, Stewie normally watches our show. It's a shame he's not watching and typing in tonight. I would love Stewie to pop in tonight with the cup and let Stewie Williams just give his opinion on the King's choice of his chalice tonight.
Yeah, he's gonna shoot me a text afterwards like, "Love your cup. That's hilarious. I knew your favorite color was pink, and
And by the way, the gentleman that said his daughter drinks out of that same cup, Shark, she's 3.
She's 3.
She's 3. Yeah, so she's 3. Just saying.
Love it. Great.
Justin, can you ask Servich just one question there real quick?
Oh, yeah.
It was a good one. There you go.
Anyone else you were worried about bowling had it not been him? Let's see. I'm trying to remember everybody that was on the show.
Troop.
Yeah, I didn't really want to bowl Troop because he just creates so much power through the pins. I felt like once he got lined up, he was just going to be, tossing pins all over. And I mean, it was obviously very easy to get to the pocket. And once he got the right ball in his hand, he tripped a 4-pin, scouted a 10. I mean,
you're not bitter about that, are you?
No. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate it. You made me more money. But I mean, it's not like Pete gave me, just a gimme. I still need a double in the 9th and 10th. So,
I just tell you the internet might go out because there's a thunderstorm that ends at 9:45.
Sorry, the producer came in to tell you. All right, so we're getting.
When are you gonna end?
All right, come here. We're getting ready to finish. We'll say goodbye. All right.
He's like, we're done now.
No, he's trying to touch that phone and everything. All right, say goodbye to everybody. So wrap up. Yes.
Yay!
There goes my computer, brand new computer.
That's
how I get rid of him, by saying you can get ice cream. Now, no place is open, so I'm safe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Wow.
But I cleared him out of the room for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, he's going to come back in 5 minutes and be like, we're going to go get ice cream, right? Oh, nobody's open? Oh,
there would be it'll be worse than that. Justin's been around him, so Justin's seen the temper tantrums a little bit.
Yeah.
Goodness.
So we'll let you guys wrap.
All right, Mike. Yeah. You ready? You got any last questions?
I don't. Congratulations again, King. Thank you for joining us again, even though you're an hour late.
Yeah, it's all right.
It was worth the wait.
You guys 2 hours
of
content.
This is what happens when you win something like this. You think that time is of no essence anymore.
Yeah, I completely was just like, wow, okay, because you messaged me at 5
midnight,
5 whatever. No,
whatever. You mean tonight? Yeah.
Yeah, you were like, hey, here's the link or whatever, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no worries. And I was like, wow, you guys are sending the link.
And the court has arrived.
Yeah, I was like, wow, you guys are sending the link really early, and then I went back and drilled a ball, and then you were like, when are you gonna get home? I was like, I don't know, 5 minutes from now. And he was like, oh, okay. And didn't say, hey, we're in there.
So like that was the longest 5 minutes ever too. That's like a 45 minutes in a bowling center. Oh, honey, I'll be home in 5 minutes. An hour and a half later.
Yeah, no kidding. So, but I was literally, whenever you texted me, I was on my way home, and then I jump in and I saw the first thing I saw was that it said live for 59 minutes. I was like, oh, okay, all right, my bad, guys.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
So good. Well, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for biting me an hour for my.
Now the dog joined me. I can't. It's like I get everybody.
And this was our first 2-time guest, Justin.
Yes, it was.
Yes, couldn't have thought of a better one to have for 2-time guest than the King himself.
And
all right, I love it.
Dinner, dessert, sweet tea with the King, whatever we want to call it. It was. I
like that sweet tea with the King.
Sweet tea with the King.
I would tell everybody, look, if you're on Instagram, follow Buddies tomorrow. I think Packy's going to do a little, like a question, like come up with a good nickname for Prather. We have all these different nicknames. How about we come up with one solid one?
King,
right?
Shark.
Yeah. Well, see, King Shark
we
is
did King Shark yesterday. I did that right away yesterday. It was my idea. Yeah. Tori used it.
Yeah, and I told them to make sure that there was no copyright on that because King Shark is actually a DC villain.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
This is a quick thing I can think of to put up a news to do the email.
Yeah, and the only reason I know that is because I watched the Flash TV show. So
Buddy's shop will be out of business soon. Sorry about that.
Yeah, he's going to be paying copyright stuff, and I think we're okay though.
All right, thanks again for joining us, guys.
No, we are good. So, Shark, as always, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys, for having me on.
Stay safe. Good luck with the event this weekend.
Thank you very much.
And there he goes, the King, Kris Prather.
Guys, great show. Thank you.
Thanks. It's always a pleasure. We had a good time.
Thanks for helping us ramble for over 2 hours.
I am very good at that, so.
We did a good job. We killed some dead air.
2 hours, though. It was a really entertaining 2 hours.
Yeah,
First decided to help out a little bit. Sorry.
Over the span of 2 hours, it was pretty good.
Now I got the dog.
And Justin, just to let you know, during our show tonight, the guests that I was working on for next week, it is most likely going to be Thursday of next week.
Okay.
They are not available Tuesday, but they're available Thursday.
So we'll keep that on the low.
We can tell Chris who we're going to be chatting with next Thursday.
Okay. That'll be off the air.
Off the air, of course. We're gonna have two.
If you're gonna blurt out to me now, that's not doing much justice here. I mean,
no. We'll say 2 retired bowlers, I guess, Justin.
Yeah, I'll say that. 2 retired from the PBA.
2 retired PBA players, and no, more modern.
All right, Simonelli.
No.
2 righties.
Too modern.
If you keep on giving me enough hints, I might. Well,
can I give him a hint, Justin, on one of them?
Sure, go ahead.
Eugene McCune.
He's in the pro shop business.
Well, Eugene McCune's in the pro shop business.
It is not Eugene McCune.
Well, it's not John Fury.
It is not John Fury. We love John Fury, but it's not John Fury.
Retired in the pro shop business. Del Ballard.
No, and what's wrong with Del? I know is he
under the weather? Well, he's had surgery on his throat again, I think, or something, right? Does anybody know exactly?
We want to send Del our best, obviously.
We definitely do want to send to Del and Carolyn and the family there.
Yeah, but it is not Del.
I won't keep guessing because I would be clueless if they're in the pro shop. When you probably tell me off air, I'll be like, oh, okay.
He's from the East Coast too.
Okay.
We'll get
you off the air.
Sam Macarone.
Sammy would be a good spot, Justin.
But it's not.
It is not Sammy.
All right.
He calls me Capitan.
We'll get him on.
Right, we'll get off the air.
Yeah, we'll get off the air.
All right,
good
guys. Thank you so much for watching. This was a great sweet tea with the King, as we'll call it.
I like that. That was good.
If you guys are watching on Facebook, be sure to like and follow the page. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And my new video, I did not expect to be on the air when this video dropped, but my new vlog is now out. Sydney Bowles is the title on my YouTube page. Go check it out, Justin Bohn. It was another good one. So Guys, as for now, I'm Justin Bohn, my partner Mike Val, and the president of BuddiesProShop.com, Chris Forey. This is the Bohn N Zano Zone, where we're always on the lanes, off the charts, and on the mic. See you guys next week.
Goodbye, everybody.